Hello and welcome to another episode of CW Movie Night. As you can see, we got a stacked panel compared to usual. I think this is the only time there was more was when Marco did that bootleg episode to talk about Deadpool, which I wouldn't want to talk about anyway, so that was perfect. And yeah, but we got Sean from Small Talk tonight. How you doing, Sean?
Doing all right, man. Doing all
Good to
right,
have you.
recovering.
Good to have you. Dean just made it. Good to see you, buddy.
What
And
a
Manny, when Manny heard what movie we were talking about, it might have even been his idea. He had
I
to
think
be
it
here.
was. Yeah, it was my idea. I take credit, so you guys are
yeah, I think it was.
There we go. And then we got Mike, and I just want to do a little aside off topic tangent here. I was lucky enough to hang out with Mike on the weekend at a big old toy show called Toy Hio. And here's us at the show. And here's the $250 Ewok that I bought. Now, you can't really spend much more than
Jesus.
that on an Ewok. But there's one that's higher, and it's the cartoon show Wicket. That's about $600 ungraded. But who could do that to themselves, right? But it
Do
was.
you
It
have
was.
that?
I do not have that one, but now I have all 8 live action Ewoks from Return of the Jedi. So that's the last one I'm gonna get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That-
Nice.
Very cool.
A completionist.
yeah, Warrock. Who could forget Warrock, the real character from
He's
Return
my
of the
favorite.
Jedi? Yeah, it comes with a coin.
I feel like most people probably.
Yep, and he cost. I think I paid the same for him as Mike paid for the Harley Quinn Hot Toys that he bought.
Yeah, right.
which you can see on the main show if you watch that this week in the intro. He shows
She's right
some
over
stuff
there.
he picked up there. But yeah, guys, so we are talking about the 1998 classic Small Soldiers. Now, I think I just want to start out with Manny for a second here, because this was your pick. So, like, what was your introduction to this? Did you see it in theaters back in the day? What's the deal?
I actually didn't watch it in theaters. So back in '98, I was with my aunt and uncle, and I was just at my grandparents' house, and they happened to stop by, and they said, "Hey, let's take Manuel out." So they took me out to like McDonald's and stuff, and then before the day ended, they took me to Toys R Us, and they said you can choose whatever toy you want. One toy, we'll get it. It doesn't matter the price, you pick it. So we walked into Toys R Us, and I was just browsing the aisles. I happened to see a Major Chip Hazard on the shelf. No idea what it was, but the
Whoa.
presence alone, I was just like, that's cool. I grabbed him, I took it home, and I absolutely fell in love. I think it wasn't maybe till later that year, or even like a couple years after when I actually watched the film. And it was just that nostalgia is always going to be, there. So
Was
it
everything
means a
else
lot to
just
me.
a toy?
Yes, exactly.
Nice pull.
All right. Well, that's crazy. That's like basically your introduction is like a scene in the movie. Basically, that's pretty cool.
Right.
But yeah, how about you, Sean?
I would guess that I did see it in the movie theater, but the more nostalgic part came as I got a little bit older. Once that movie came out, I immediately got the Archer and the Chip Hazard. The other ones weren't really something that I knew existed, I guess, at the time, because I only knew what was like right in front of me. Like my parents took me to go to Toys R Us or whatever, and we picked that up. That's what I knew. But God, man, there's only a few movies that I will attempt to watch every single year, and Small Soldiers is on that short list. I love this movie so much.
Nice.
I don't know if it was like the idea of like talking toys or like live, like real thinking toys, or if it was that whole scene in the movie where like it's everyone fighting together. Cause I was kind of into like the war stuff when I was younger too. Like I had the little like army men and stuff like that. And I was into watching like World War II stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I got to see like the battles and stuff, and to see something like that with the toys was like really cool, but or if it's just the love of toys in general. I mean, just that's what this movie's about. You know, it's the love of the toys.
Yeah, it really feels like the writer was like a G.I. Joe and like He-Man guy, because like there's so many sort of subtle references to like the like non-Star Wars 80s toy lines that it has to come from experience. I don't know, Dean, what's your background with this movie? Oh, Badfish is saying he remembers as a kid the Gorgonzolas, which is not their real name. That's the Phil Hartman name for them. That line made him laugh so much. Oh yeah, he's referencing
Core
the line.
memory.
Good. Yeah, man. Phil Hartman. We'll get into it a bit, but like I think this is Phil Hartman's last movie, which
I
is
think
pretty
it
crazy.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so growing up I was the youngest of 5. No, sorry, 4. I made one up. The youngest of 4.
As far as you know.
We didn't go out to the movies. But my grandmother would buy us VHS tapes like when they came out. And so I guess like during the hype of this movie, you know, like Burger King had the toys. Like, I mean, it was everywhere. And so I like
the game.
Yeah, so like I had like the Burger King toys, and then I kind of like Manny. We went to the store and I saw pretty much the exact same thing. I was like, Chip Hazard, that guy's cool. The fucking Gorgonauts, like whatever, I don't care. I want the fucking soldier guy. He's the cool one. And then I got the VHS for like Christmas or whatever, or like a birthday. Like she would just buy us VHSs, and I watched the movie. I was like, "This is a fucking bad guy. What the fuck is this?" But yeah. So,
but he's meant to be a good guy,
right? He's,
you know,
so good. He's kind of
right.
bad. Yeah.
So pretty much what's going on in America right now. That's what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
it did remind me of like the Paul Verhoeven movies, like RoboCop and Starship Troopers, where like the opening is like a commercial about like the perils of the military-industrial complex, like taking over everything, and you have like a commercial that is so funny that it couldn't possibly exist in real life, and that sort of sets the stage. But yeah, Mike, what's your background with this movie?
So I don't have a great story. In fact, I don't remember where I saw it. I'm going to assume I saw it in a theater because for me that fell in a time period where
So about
me
2
and my
hours
friends
ago?
we were old enough to drive and go do our own thing, but not old enough to get into bars and stuff. So we were at the movies constantly. So I feel like we would have seen this. I do remember watching it multiple times, around that time when it came out. So I'm going to assume it was in theater, but I honestly don't remember, and I probably saw it once or twice and hadn't seen it, in that 20 plus years since until the last 2 days. So
Yeah, it was a cool rewatch because it's just like you have the like I remembered a ton of lines that were just baked into the back of my brain somewhere because I must have had I'm pretty sure I had the VHS, and it was one of those ones that got overplayed, and but it had been a long time. But yeah, basically, for those of you who've never seen it, which is probably no one on this channel, the synopsis is this is the very concise IMDb synopsis. When missile technology is used to enhance toy action figures, the toys soon begin to take their battle programming too seriously. Very generic and broad. It's really I feel like it's more about like merchandising and learning to step outside your comfort zone and all that. But let's see what the broader world thinks about it with a clip from our good buddy John, the Everyday Collector.
Hey everyone, John, the Everyday Collector here, stopping by to give you the IMDb rating as well as the Rotten Tomatoes score on Small Soldiers, this week's movie, released back in 1998, hitting the feels with this one. Childhood movie. 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb with 108,000 reviews. Moving on over to the Rotten Tomatoes score. The tomato meter, 49% with only 47 reviews. And unfortunately, a 45% on the popcorn meter with 100,000 plus ratings. You absolutely hate to see it. This was one of those childhood favorites. Sending it back to you guys in the studio. We will catch you for the next movie. All the best, stay safe, and Be warm. It's freezing out there. Take care.
What the heck is this, guys?
That's
damn
actually
shame.
crazy.
Yeah.
Also, shout out John. That was very nice.
Yeah, he has. I don't think he's missed one.
Yeah, he's killing it. Yeah, this is really surprising. Now, rewatching the movie, I don't think this movie's fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but 45? I don't know.
I
That
think
seems
that's a little
really low.
harsh.
Yeah.
Those are Joker 2 numbers, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I feel like, man, I don't know. Like,
Do movies like from this time period like need to be like updated? I feel like you not updated as like we need another film, but like there needs to be a better like Rotten Tomato score or something like
Well,
that, you know? Because
that's
this
the
is
weird thing.
aged.
A nostalgia
This-
rating.
Yeah.
But this is like the same score as the Star Wars Holiday Special, man. Like, this is not right. This is a real movie. It's iconic. I don't know.
it's definitely better than yeah.
Was this like the first of its kind? Is there any other films before it that had
Well,
a mixture of that?
Well, I mean, the direct comparison, because it also has Phil Hartman, is Jingle All the Way, which is 2 years before this. And Phil Hartman plays the same character in both movies, essentially. But,
Be Neighbor, yeah.
yeah. But
It's kind of funny though, like the way like everything's set up. Like, you know, it's a struggling toy company, a struggling toy store, a struggling or like, and then using like almost AI technology. I know there was munitions chips and stuff like that, but sounds like some things that are kind of going on right now. You know, Hasbro needs to put some chips in there.
you think there's yeah, I mean, I think that's the funniest part of the movie is like here's this sort of RoboCop commercial, and you have your CEO here.
Your Sandlot dad.
Yeah, and there's lots of subtle little things, like, you know, did they need the rebranding of the toy company, a division of Globotech, and you just
Yeah, they didn't want to take the old sign down first. What the fuck are you doing? It's not even
Otherwise-
the same shape.
They need it to mount it.
Right.
Who-
You see the
what
bottom of the
fucking-
sign sticking out when they're
I
done.
know, what the hell?
Toy company.
Dean, it's efficient storytelling. Yeah, you're gonna have 2 shots in there instead of one, like it's gonna take forever. But, and then the sticker on the helicopter is like, that's, you know, somebody printed a decal in their home inkjet. It's about the size of an 8.5 by 11 on the side there. They could have just not put it. Yeah. Everybody remember what her name was?
Nope.
This is Miss Kegels.
Oh, that's right.
Kegels. Yeah.
Which is insane. And you know, it's like is it even really a joke? No, but it's just like this would never pass by today. Like there's no purpose to it. It doesn't really reference anything related to the movie whatsoever. And it's just like they're putting stuff in there for everybody to have a little laugh, and she takes her job very seriously. And she's basically introducing the 2 remaining toy designers who are the only people who weren't canned at the company to the new leadership.
It's so funny seeing these dudes this young.
Yep.
Still, yeah, the one guy's still thoroughly bald 27 years ago, but yep.
Right. What happened to Jay Moore? Like, I feel like he was in everything in the late 90s.
I don't know. That's a good question. He's still around on like podcasts and stuff
Really?
because you know all these
He
guys.
was just on
are-
CW last week.
Yeah,
Plausible. But yeah, it looks like, you know, they already have these sort of model mock-ups for the Gorgonites and the Commando Elite here.
I
But,
would absolutely
yep.
kill for a setup like that. Because I mean, the figures that we can have today, like the major chip that
can
we
pull
have,
that
it doesn't
off.
look like that. Like it's if like Hot Toys did one like and it looked like that,
Manny,
100%.
Manny, by the end of the show, you're going to find out that does in fact exist. But resist the urge to look it up now, okay?
I think I know what you're
Let's-
talking about.
Let's get there. All right, good. But it's just, you know, there's a lot of weird details around that. But
Right.
but basically, you know, the new CEO wants to like juice it up somehow, and it's his idea to make the Commando Elites fight the Gorgonites instead of them being sort of 2 separate toy lines there.
Yeah, and dude, Dennis Leary is so fucking funny, and he has his kind of
His little tirade.
obligatory rant
Yep.
because
That's
it's
the
kind of
only
like what he
reason
was
they
known
hire him.
for. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like we need some pompous douchebag that can just riff and go on some fucking, bullshit
Rip someone
rant.
apart and then leave.
And he
think
delivers.
Dean, I think we talked about, not to get sidetracked, but when we did, you weren't there when we did Demolition Man.
Yeah.
I had mentioned that I'd read that when they cast Dennis Leary in that, they rewrote his entire portion of the script just so he could just have his rants. Like that wasn't originally there. They rewrote it just for him.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he really is like, it's almost like I'm gonna forget his name because there's Dennis Leary and then there's
Vince
Mike,
Vaughn
maybe
kind
I'll
of does
remember.
that too, right? Just not as angrily, but he just kind of rambles on in a rant.
Yeah,
Very
man,
monotone rant too.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember the dude's name because they were both kind of around at the same time.
It'll come to you.
But anyway, he's up there with like some of the best ranters on stage. Like when he does a stand up, it's like, so yeah. The second you see him in a movie, there's gonna be a rant, and sure enough, he does it. And it's not like long winded or like ridiculous, but he's so quick with it. Nobody could have pulled this out other than him. It was so good.
Yeah, it's a fun sequence, and you can see. I don't know if I forget the guy's name, the bald guy there. He's really upset that the Gorgonites are going to be slaughtered by Chip Hazard canonically.
Yeah.
He didn't like that idea.
These are the good guys. These are the monsters. Good guys kill monsters.
Yeah, and then here you have the real initiating incident of chaos is Jay Moore here. He's doing some internal work, and he needs some microchips for his toys. So he gets some discontinued discontinued military chips that are part of some sort of missile program that didn't work properly.
I guess we just ignore the lack of federal oversight in this whole procedure, but
Well,
They gave him like access.
Access.
yeah.
Here's your access card. Like literally.
Yeah,
Yep.
just a card.
And when the guy says his secret passcode out loud, they don't bother to change
yeah.
it.
yeah, he would have been fired on the spot.
What was his
Gizmo.
password?
Gizmo.
Gizmo. Yeah.
I just love how computer interfaces look in movies in the like late 90s. It's like, look at that shopping cart button, just like a quarter of the screen.
As we talk it out, that Rotten Tomato score seems a little accurate.
Yeah, but it doesn't take place in the real world, guys. That's what you need.
This is
to
what we do on
appreciate.
this show, man, if you haven't noticed.
But
We enjoy
but
a film when it starts, and then we tear it down and wonder why we enjoyed it.
I know why
Just
I
break my figures.
Am I that
Yeah.
simple-minded?
listen. It's not meant to be real. It's got Phil Hartman in it, like acting a fool, guys. Like this is just it's meant to be funny. But I think this could have been amped up a little more if, like, say he got access to like the Department of Defense's secret files, and he's just like closing tabs on like aliens and Bigfoot that he's not interested in. But then he lands on these microchips, and
That's interesting.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is more exactly. But I mean, this it kind of, I don't know why it says shopping cart if these are internal goods as well, right? But maybe I mean, the real implausible thing is for these microchips to be of any value, the detailed amount of servos and actuators that would have to be in all these toys as well are just like there's nothing ever been made like it at that scale. So the microchips are almost not the least believable part about it. But yeah, I remember when Dean was doing his rewatch, which was like a week ago. He might forget, but he pointed out they have some early 3D printing looking stuff
Yeah.
going on here. And
Yeah,
a
it was
computer.
actually, and again, like government technology is usually about a decade ahead of where society is. But this is like pretty much resin printing right here is
Yeah.
what we're looking
Yes.
at. It like comes out of the pool.
The music that played behind this too in this scene was amazing.
And so I was like, wow, like I wonder if this was, because obviously now this toy company has government technology. I wonder if they had like, I don't know, because Hollywood people, like they do research and they interview, for kind of the weirdest shit. They're like, oh, we had access to, yada 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 when we made this movie. And
Yeah.
so I was like, I wonder if they actually got like any like information, like, oh, well, we have these machines that like print anything you want out of liquid, and they kind of just envisioned what that would look like, and they did it, with like lasers and shit instead of,
Yeah.
But I just thought that was really interesting because this was 1998. We just got resin printing like 5 years ago.
Well, I mean, some predecessor to it must have been in place if they even had the idea of the visual, if it sort of come out of the liquid like that. Like there must have been some grandfather of the concept in existence.
Well, yeah, because I go back a couple right here. There's supports in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look
So
at that.
like,
No, you're 100%
That's-
right.
fucking insane. So yeah, this
Mike, I want one.
it blew my
Print me
mind
one,
when this
please.
happened.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
got you. Coming soon from Mike's Adventure World.
Yeah, but you know what's even
But I want
funnier
it
that
painted.
but I was just thinking, like you see this chip hazard. It absolutely couldn't be the same one used for this rubber mask. That's
I was about to say that.
It's just a mold. It's the
Hold
mold
on.
that they build it off of.
I was thinking it was like the skin because the skin is like silicone.
well, it'd be
Maybe-
rubber. You wouldn't be doing it with anyway resin printing. But it looks cool, and he's a little bit
Maybe it's-
orange. and
Maybe
he's
it's
a little bit
Jello. I don't
blue.
know.
Yeah, it's a great visual, and I never thought about it that way till now. But then you have a T800 skull underneath, anyways. So that's cool.
It's funny. You thought T800. I saw that and immediately thought of Short Circuit and thought we need to add that to our list.
Dude,
I don't know
Johnny
why, but that
Five,
reminded me
bro.
of Johnny Five for some
Johnny
reason.
Five is alive. We need to do that fucking
That's
movie.
what I'm saying. And we're putting that on the list. Little Gutenberg.
And yeah, here we go. We got the chip going into the back of his head,
Yeah.
which that would create a heck of a seam on the back of the head that would be unsightly doing
See,
it that way.
Oh, dude.
That was a missed opportunity right there on the toy. Only if you even if you just had a
Yeah.
little panel that flipped up and you
Yeah,
see
that
the
would've been
chip
sweet.
back there, that
Yeah.
would be.
And then you choke,
Everyone would have lost
and then
that
you die.
panel, but
Isn't it kind of funny? His name is Chip Hazard.
you just getting that now? What's going on, man?
Look at the light bulb went off.
That's such
Say, hey guys, his name's Chip Hazard.
Oh god.
Man, shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I love it.
But I mean, this is where the Rotten Tomatoes score really gets crazy. Like Jerry Goldsmith doing the score, like
Bro, this,
Joe
the cast is stacked.
Yeah.
The music, like, watching this back, I was like, God damn, this is crazy.
Yeah. Everything about this is peak 1998. I mean,
yeah, we got introduced to our protagonist here. I don't know how many other movies he did. I didn't remember his name
I
off
don't
the top of
remember
my
seeing
head.
him much. Oh, that guy was awesome.
Okay, this guy is in. Somebody got IMDb up. He's in Gremlins, all kinds of '80s movies. Like he
Yeah.
played. This guy's all over the place. This might be one of his last sort of times filling this sort of function in a movie. But like, it's just like this movie sort of ties back to it's very much like Gremlins structurally. You know what I mean? Like that's probably the best sort of comparison in terms of like tone and like this and what happens in the movie. But yeah, Joe Dante
good call.
directed. It's like there's no. I mean, it's just like there's like no expense spared, man. Like this is good stuff. So we get introduced to this kid. He's running his dad's toy shop.
Alan Albermathy or something like that, right?
It's definitely Alan. Beyond that, I don't know. But yeah, man, he's getting a delivery, and man, you can just relate to this old guy because like the kid sees that this guy's some new stuff here, the Commando Elite, and he's like, he wants to check it out just as much as the kid. He's like, let's check out this new shit. and they're popping it. It's a seven. I think they say the retail price is $79.99 at one point for one of these figures in 1998. So it's like cost of like a game console basically, and they're just popping them open.
Hey, for real though, like the commands that they're saying, like I know there was toys back in the day that actually like, you know, had some kind of functionality with that, but
Yeah.
we're not really seeing that until today too with those Transformers, you know, those third party
Buzz
Transformers
Lightyear.
figures.
Yeah, well, you know, 1996, the hot Christmas toy, you had Furbies and like Tickle Me Elmo. So
Turbo
like
Man.
the electronic talking toys were becoming a thing around this time that were a
But
pretty
I'm saying
hot
like the
Christmas
ones that
item.
would respond, you know, like move with you.
Yeah, I mean Furby was pretty crazy, but you know, you had to like it wasn't really my jam, but I remember being annoyed by one around the house that one of my siblings had, and it would never really shut up.
I had a
But,
friend in elementary school who got a Furby, and she taught it Spanish.
Oh, jeez.
Are you sure that wasn't just her kid?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
elementary school, bro. We're not high school.
God.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man, but you know that the Furby's got the military chip.
It's on
if
the
they-
ice
if they're-
list.
if
Hey,
they're
you know
learning
they
Spanish.
banned those, right? They banned those
Jesus
in the
Christ.
Pentagon. They would not let Furbies into the Pentagon.
Wow.
Who the fuck is taking Furbies into the Pentagon?
No, that's for real though.
Government
it's like
waste,
for real. It's a for real fun
You
fact.
guys, I was in a government office in Canada a few weeks ago,
That doesn't count.
and here you want to hear some.
Not real.
No, oh, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get even worse.
It's
On
like the public
two-
library.
you guys aren't even ready for this. On the top of two cubicles, there was a Force Awakens stormtrooper and a Sith trooper from Episode 9. It's like, do you guys even
Pick
Star
your
Wars,
alliance
man?
now.
You guys even Star
What are
Wars.
you talking about? You got a Sith trooper from Episode 9 on your desk? Just stay home, man. But anyways, you got a good look at Archer here, the leader of the Gorgonites, and you can tell that he would be Hot Toys prices.
Emissary of the Gorgonites.
Emissary.
Right. Yeah, he's non-confrontational. He's just going to talk to people about the Gorgonites. He's going to knock on doors and ask if you have 5 minutes to talk about the Gorgonites. But he looks really good.
That's funny.
You know
He's
what?
got his white button down.
I'm
You
just
have
gonna
5
say it.
minutes to talk about Gorgon.
I'm just gonna say it. Archer is a coward. End of story.
Well,
a
he was
little bit of a
programmed
bitch.
that way, man. Come on.
Well, that's
how
what I didn't understand. I guess what can we? I guess
Big
we'll
ol'
cover
Ferg,
that a
what's
little
up,
bit
man?
later. But like, it doesn't make sense that they would be cowards if they're enemies. You know what I mean?
They also
like, if
have
you-
action features designed for violence, like a big
Yeah, and
boulder
it's like
Right? They have weapons.
if you're gonna have like if you're gonna have a toy line and the whole toy line is like G.I. Joe and the fucking Cobra Commander or whatever they're called, but the
Mando
Cobra
Elite.
Commanders were thank you, but Cobra was a bunch of hippies.
I
That's
got
not a
Cobra's
fucking
not even-
viable
He's
toy
not
line.
even cool enough to hate.
Oh, there
Like,
you go.
He's like not. He's just not cool.
Well, he even
just-
mentions though at one point in the movie, he goes, "My programming is for good" or something like that. You know.
I was going to
So I
say,
mean, if
yeah,
you're programmed
the
that
bald
way,
guy programmed him, right? Because remember, he didn't want anything to do with the war and the
Right.
soldiers and stuff. So they were probably programmed. Sorry,
because he
separately.
wanted them to talk and like
Yep.
interact, not like fight as
Yeah.
good versus bad.
But also narratively, it's like they're the hippies and the military is trying to squash them. Like that's, you know, they don't want violence. It's being forced upon them, and that's the theme, right? You know what I mean? But
I guess.
they just want to live in the national park by themselves, and the military guys are coming out. It's like they're like ET. You know what I mean? They just want to chill and be friendly to everybody, but the army can't have it. But yeah, the kid asked if this one I really didn't understand. The toy store is struggling because it's like one of those nerdy like wood toy learning toy stores, and the dad who
Right.
owns it doesn't want any cool stuff in there, so they're struggling.
Like he's very old school toy
Yeah.
guy. Small town
Yeah.
America, you could tell It's
Yeah.
small town America.
Yeah, wood trains and whatnot. And but his dad's going away to some sort of toy conference for the weekend. So he's like, "Why don't you loan me a case of these army monster dudes,
Right.
and
I'll
I'll
get them
pay you
sold
back."
before.
Yeah, but like, what are the margins on a case of these, right?
How about the fact that he
You're
like
not
strong
wrong.
arms the old man? He's like, "You're telling me nothing's ever fallen off your truck before?"
That or
Wink, wink.
munitions
And the guy's
chips
just
back
like,
in
"All
that
right,
day.
here."
Say
Like,
that or the munitions, munitions chips back in that day were like $20. You know,
yeah.
like
Well, they got them internally. You know, that was from a scrap program.
Yeah, I
You
was gonna
later
say
find
they were
out in
just
the
gonna
movie.
throw those things
Sit-
away,
sitting
right?
around.
So yeah, it's all profit there.
Bro, this is a bad kid.
Well, he set fire to his
he-
previous school and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
he burned down his old school, or at least that's what they thought.
Yeah.
He 100% did it.
Yeah.
But imagine, I mean, but given the backstory they set up for him, like we soon get introduced to like Kirsten Dunst, who is like 16 in this movie, I think, and she's like a neighbor who's never talked to him, and she even knows his like rap sheet basically. Like that's how notorious this kid is. But given that he's made an incredible amount of progress, he's basically normal.
finds the
Right? They
one
set
old
it up
guy to
like
talk
I
to
kind of.
him.
Sorry, Sean. I was going to say you kind of expect them to be more badass in the end, right? Like that bad boy to come out. And I mean, yeah, okay, maybe he saves the day, but there's none of that like rebel mystique that they were kind of laying on thick at the beginning.
Well, I'm pretty sure Kirsten Dunst destroys a lot more evil toys than he does anyway.
Yeah, she
But,
was ape shit.
I think there's a story there. Like if he went against his programming, like it shows him fighting it. That would be cool.
You're thinking of RoboCop.
I know. I'm always thinking of RoboCop.
That's a good way to be. But yeah, I know you get a good look at the two lead toys here, and he gets the whole store display set up too for his one case of figures. This is crazy. that
Jesus.
doesn't make any sense. He gets all the store displays set up. And
He's like, well, this
these-
was supposed to go to Toys R Us, but I guess I'll leave it to this wood store.
so you can sell the one
Wood
case.
store.
Bro, Manny. No shit. Like, okay, this movie takes place in 1998, right? Theoretically, when the movie was released. And this dude is selling toys older than the shit the kid was playing with in fucking A Christmas Story. And that movie takes place in like the fucking 50s.
Hey,
Like,
the
what
Christmas
are we
Story kid gets
doing
like a
here?
jet, like an actual like jet, doesn't he?
But Dean, that's the point is he's a fool and his store is going to go out of business.
And he deserves to. This kid's not. This shouldn't be up to this kid. Let the fucking free market decide, dude. Capitalism.
Again, I go back to what did this kid know about this delivery driver that he got all this shit? So he
They,
has dirt
He's
on
the
this
dealer,
guy.
man.
They're boys. But yeah, this is crazy, right? Like, when I see him unloading the whole massive store display, I also think on some level, like, I'm not a normal audience member, like, because it's like I'm thinking about stolen store displays from Toys R Us all the time, you know, like I look at them on the secondary market. I think about stuff like that. The average person is just like, wow, that's cool. That stuff's probably not expensive. Meanwhile, the value of those store displays, even at the time of release, exceeds one case of figures probably. So never mind that.
You know
But,
what? You know what's fucking crazy about this picture? It's the most realistic thing in the entire fucking movie. The figure can't even hold the gun properly.
Yeah.
No, they didn't give him enough hands.
How many fucking toys do we have in our
Artisan
collections? Yeah, dude.
The trigger
The
finger
fucking-
can't even go in the hole.
Yeah, it's not even molded properly.
Like, look,
Like,
he's
what
like
the-
holding it like this.
Not only that, but also it's like Chip is a picture, and then the rest of the guys are like concept
Or
art.
He's all
drawing.
actual like live looking picture and everything's else cartoony.
To be fair, that might actually be more of a testament to like how fast they had to rush this shit out the door. Because they
That's
had what,
true.
3 months?
That's a deep cut, Dean. You know, the original Star Wars figures, the first 12, on the back of that card is actually a painting of all 12 figures. They didn't even have pictures of the figures on the back there.
Wow. Look at that.
So let me take this back real quick. This just unlocked a core memory with this movie. When you were talking about those displays, you were talking about that, and I thought, yeah, when I worked at the video store, I remember we would get these displays, and we would either take them ourselves or we would sell them. And then I realized when I saw this movie, we had it playing on the store TVs all the time. It was one of the few movies, right? It couldn't be, above whatever rating, PG-13 or something, actually play in the store. That's when I remember seeing it. I've completely forgot about that.
My mom used to work for Blockbuster back in the day. She was a store manager, and she'd be like, okay, here's this week's 13 movies,
Yep.
VHS tapes. She'd have like stacks of them.
Yep.
And then like
They would have that banner across the bottom.
Right, yeah. And then you would have like, we'd go there like on a Thursday or Friday on their deal nights and stuff, and my mom be working, and my dad take us there to go and get videos and stuff, just because she'd be working late and stuff. And man, they'd have all the little figures, and then they had like their candies and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Bro,
I have that
Blockbuster
exact
was the
same tool
fucking
that's on the
place to be.
I remember going to
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
I
hold on.
remember to a
Hold on.
Hollywood Video and
Sorry.
being seriously let down.
Manny's holding up the little
Yeah,
armature thing that's in
I
the
saw it. I
shot.
was like, what the heck? It's literally the same thing.
What's going on here?
Manny's
All right.
such a fucking
I
fan
have
of
that
this
same
movie.
one too.
He has that thing from.
He has
I have
the
that
prop.
too.
Yeah, I have one too. All
That's
right.
crazy.
All right, so the toys immediately start killing each other. Kirsten Dunst comes in with the most dingusy, annoying little brother ever. He's like,
Bro.
he looks like you want to just like, what like he looks
And
like he
she
needs
even
to be
tells
bullied.
him too. She's like, well, you can't have that toy. You can have this one.
Yeah, I mean, she's a bit of a bitch to him too. Like, she calls him a little brat at one point, just because he wanted both toys. But who doesn't? Like, who wants just one toy if it has nothing to fight?
Her
No,
and her
you can't have
20
those
I sympathize
highlight-reel
with
boyfriend
the
at the
toys.
time, right?
You can have this one wooden block.
Yeah, you can have a dreidel.
Start
You can have the
chiseling.
letter B. How about that?
Look, I think on the left you have those little games they have at the table at Cracker Barrel.
Cracker
Oh,
Barrel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Bro.
dude.
Cracker, that's a fucking good joke.
Oh man.
Man,
But,
look at the telephone in the back right there.
Well, yeah, that's
Actually,
real commitment.
let me get
Can
mine real
this
quick.
fucking
He's
dude
like,
bring
"Look
his
at that
shop to the
company."
modern age, please? You can't get a fucking fax machine. It has to be a fucking rotary phone. Come
No, 'cause
on,
they
man.
only had that at Global Tech. They didn't have it at the little toy store.
I feel like
His
if
dad
you,
would just modernize.
if you like really analyze these shots, I'm sure there's some very amusing set deck throughout the shop.
That's
Like
all we're looking at now, right?
cards.
Bro,
Yep.
even Humpty Dumpty's like, get me the fuck out of here,
I
bro.
was gonna say the same thing.
Just push me off this wall.
And
Please
then,
push me out of the
Don't
store.
put me back together.
Do not resuscitate. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
want to.
those other adults. Those other adults were like, "Fuck it, we're hanging ourselves."
Yeah, those are marionettes. Nerd children get them in Europe, I think, Dean. I don't know how that works, but yeah, basically the kid starts exploring the back room immediately as you do, and he wants the commando elites and the Gorgonites, but apparently they ran away. And then a generic football playing Chad comes up and
25 years old.
well,
Bro, on a
That little kid's
fucking
pissing me off. I just want to see him get on the bike and run into that car.
yeah, he's
Bro,
like,
this
lose
dude's
your
on
little
a
brother.
Fucking CVR 600, crazy. This guy's a brat. You already hate him.
And he's like, dang, that should be me on that Honda. But and yeah, so the kid doesn't get the toys. They leave without buying anything, as annoying customers. And it sure shows her go back home, and we get to see Phil Hartman in peak Phil Hartman here, installing a big 90s satellite dish. Oh, we got lots to
Jason
go,
says,
Jason.
"Shit, I'm way late."
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, it's not a
started.
small talk night though.
Yeah, yeah, we got lots to go still. But yeah, Phil Hartman's setting up his 90s satellite dish, which is like quite obscene, and he's chopping down trees off the neighbor's tree there. And
But
And
wait, that's his
the,
dad, right?
Yeah.
I thought
He
he
yells
was
at
a
him.
Wade.
Same exact parents as fucking Sam Witwicky from Transformers.
It is the same guy, right?
Yes.
Brother.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. So he threatens Phil Hartman for messing up because he's got the 1800s toy store, so he really don't like it when Phil Hartman is cutting down his tree to put up a newfangled satellite dish. That goes against everything he stands for.
I was going to use that.
That's
tree.
why he has kids. He doesn't like condoms.
Maybe this is a prequel. Maybe it's a prequel to Transformers.
Well, it's very similar plot line to that too, actually. But yeah. So old toy shop dad is going off to a toy conference, which I don't know why, because he's not allowed to order any of the stuff there anyway, because it'll be new. So why is he even going?
Maybe
And
it's
he
a
can't
vintage toy show, Chris.
Yeah, it's plausible, but there's pretty bad margins on that stuff. But I just love this because like
Even
one
fucking 80s Star Wars toys are too modern for this fucking dude.
Chris saying there's no margin as he drops $250 on an Ewok.
dude, it's the last one I need, man. That's the rest were cheaper than that. Would you believe that? Even Wicked himself is cheaper than that. But he goes off in his old Volkswagen Bug, and this is before the terrible new Volkswagen Bugs were even reintroduced, I think. But because he's old school, he's got like the OG Bug there with a convertible. But I meant to put another shot in here, but like once the dad leaves, like he starts giving his mom shit like right away.
Yeah, I
Like,
was like, what the fuck, dude? That's not the same thing.
he's like, she barely says anything to him, and he's like, what? Because I can't do anything right, obviously. And just
You
yells
fucking
at her.
bitch. Shut up, mom.
Like, yeah, and then he gets up there onto his Windows 3.1 in the attic bedroom. He's like, shut up, mom. And and then look at
I
this.
told
He's
you not
got,
to bother me when cleaning my room.
look at this. He's got a Reptile magazine and Thrasher, and I can't tell what the last one is. Probably something offensive.
Playboy.
Biggins.
Well, yeah, who knows? That one's just a little bit too out of focus, but it looks like it could be one of those things. But we see him. He has a little reptile tank in his room, and we see him skateboarding, I think once. So it's an appropriate selection there.
Look at the thigh gap on Archer. That's wild.
That's why he's got a loincloth. There's got something under there. It needs some space,
That dude has the schmeat.
But
That packaging is so cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is great, and it's cool that the retail toys sort of emulated it on the 6-inch ones, like the packaging shape's kind of similar. But yeah, man, the Commando Elite start busting out immediately, and what I really appreciated from an effects standpoint was like they're obviously doing some transitions here between physical puppets and CGI, but I feel like for 1998 it's pretty smooth, and it's probably partially because they're trying to make it look like it's supposed to be a plasticky toy rather than a live human being. So like that probably it gives them a lot of buffer zone.
The stop
If
motion
I'm not
on this
mistaken-
is
Yeah, and
amazing.
Go on, meaning?
I was just saying, if I'm not mistaken, I believe ILM did the effects for this film.
Yeah, I mean, I got some
Yeah.
really cool behind the scenes shots, but like you can obviously tell the close-ups, the puppets couldn't do that level of face articulation, not because the tech wasn't there, but because you can't make it that small, really. Like when you see the face get put on him at the beginning, his eyes are basically closed, right? Because just the rubber over top of that stuff, you can only do so much with it as far as articulation. So when they do these face close-ups, they're pretty much CGI.
Yeah, and I think most of the movie is practical effects, right? They have the little figures on set and whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like the very limited CGI that they did, they were able to spend the money and the time on those scenes that they still hold up as well as they do today. Because the movie isn't just littered with a bunch of shitty CGI. It's very select scenes that they spent, the extra time on.
Yep, and this is a year before the Holy Phantom Menace came out, where you had some photorealistic creatures, but like I said, I think part of the reason why this doesn't stand out is because they're not exactly supposed to look alive, which makes it a little easier. But yeah, here's the whole case, the whole massive store display being ruined because they only have one of each figure,
Yep.
and they're all getting
Bro.
unboxed.
I don't think we've even talked about it, but Tommy Lee Jones as the voice is amazing.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good. Also, I want to touch on this because this is really the first time we see the other soldiers in this toy line. And I know for the sake of us watching the movie, these are the bad guys. So like, we're not supposed to really think they're cool. But fuck, dude, in terms of story, could you have made a less appealing toy line? These guys are fucking hideous. They're the most grotesque looking fucking group of toys.
Missing teeth,
Yep.
mohawks.
Yeah, fucking huge fucking jowls and just the
I don't know, man. You know what they kind of remind me of? Like the 90s. I don't know if you guys are how familiar you are with the 90s Aliens line. There's like a few Colonial Marines in that which have like real exaggerated features like this. Like there's some of them are characters from the movie, but they look nothing like them. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But
Yeah, it almost feels like they're caricatures of all those 80s, 90s action movies, right? Like the Predator Squad and the Colonial Marines and stuff. It's almost like they're just characters of those characters.
They're
Go-
all
go
creepy
back.
looking.
Go back to one photo, please. Okay, these are their toy boxes. And each toy box has the character of the toy on the box. Can somebody point out one huge mistake on these figure boxes?
I don't think so.
The black guy's character's not
guy's
even black on the
not
art.
black.
What the fuck is that? He's like the only cool looking figure in this whole line. And they didn't even
Which-
fucking. What is
And
that?
and Dean, he didn't get a Kenner toy. I hate to see it.
Wow,
That
that's
sucks.
fucked up, dude.
He got didn't make the cut. But yeah, this is an awesome scene where Chip Hazard smashes one of the guns in half because he's like realizes that it's a toy. So they spend a lot of the movie procuring flamethrowers and projectiles instead of their actual weapons because they know what can actually inflict damage. It's a fun little scene there.
It's
where
the
he just goes
learning
through-
chip. They learn.
I believe he even says like standard issue or something, and he just
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And
Bro, Archer is so fucking cute.
yeah,
he's also a coward. Continue.
But look, don't you just want to like pet him?
I want to destroy him. I want to run him over with my car.
well, this is a Hot Toys level paint job here, guys. Look at those eyes. That's pretty good. But yeah, he thinks Alan's name is Alan. Now shut up, because Alan told him to shut up. That's a good laugh for the kids in the audience there, man. I remember it got me back in the day.
I couldn't read, so I don't know. I was just laughing because everyone else was laughing.
Now I love this.
Still
Archer
can't read.
Archer gets
Alright.
into Encarta, and he reads all about the JFK assassination.
Bro, he
and,
goes full Lelu Dallas
Watergate.
in this scene, bro.
Watergate,
Yep. If it, like,
Gorgon.
yeah, yeah. But basically, he this is what's most currently relevant about the story. Looking at JFK over again, Archer was really a big, deep JFK conspiracy theorist, But
Dude,
yeah,
he can fucking read the articles now, brother.
But and then he's reading about Nixon, fall of a president. I wonder if these are actual graphics from like Encarta 93 or something, because this is before the internet. Like this guy does not have the internet on this computer.
Also, I'm fucking shocked there's even a working computer in this dude's fucking house.
Well,
What
I
is-
remember having Encarta in the mid 90s. This seems very plausible to me. That was one of the few
his
things.
dad is so
Yeah, his dad wouldn't let him.
anti-technology.
Oh, attic only, man. Yeah, get that out of my sight. It's not in the living space. But Archer sees some national park in California, and he thinks that's Gorgon or wherever those guys are
Gorgon.
from.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick.
Oh,
Here we
Dean's gonna
go.
off.
We're getting Dean fired up now.
These fucking toys realize they're toys. They know it. It's like
Do
it's
they?
almost like Toy
Do
Story.
they know?
They don't think they're actually soldiers. They know they're toys, and it's like, okay, well, our programming is to kill the Gorgonites, right? And then Archer is aware that he's programmed to lose to the fucking Commando Elite. But he thinks fucking Gorgon is real. It's like, bro, you know you're a toy. You know it's all made up.
Wait, it's not real?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, nothing works that way in real life. Oh wait, all kinds of
but
things
Chip Hazard and the Commando Elite, they think everything else is just a toy, so they feel like they superseded that.
It's
Yeah,
almost
but
like
they understand that
it's just convenient,
not-
it's
man.
all
human.
programmed.
Yeah, it's all programming. Yeah.
But also, he's like Neo in the Matrix. He just took up all of American history in like 5 seconds. He reads a page in a second, right? So
Well, that's
now
what I'm
he's
saying.
He does
Lulu
nothing
Dallas,
with any of this information.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like if you got a kids movie today, he wouldn't be looking at JFK assassination and Watergate. I'm just saying. I don't know what happened to us, but we don't like funny things anymore. It's all.
There's
Like,
a tab that says
you-
OnlyFans.
Yeah, that'd be. You could get away with that. That'd be a good joke back in the day. Not anymore.
You could not have that scene in the movie and it still makes sense because you have the window scene later where, they're asking like, well, what's beyond that? And what's beyond that? I don't know why they included this scene in the movie where he's reading about fucking Watergate and JFK. Like, why is this in here?
Because he's losing his innocence. He's realizing the world's a rough place.
He knows that. He's programmed to be subjugated, bro.
Yep. And then we got Chip Hazard giving a speech to his soldiers, and he's got an awesome American flag behind him.
His George Patton moment.
Yeah. There you go. And
Slam fist.
yeah, he's
like
in
my
the store.
Gorgonites. Gorgonite run. Gorgon.
Yeah, he's
This
in the
guy's
store
a
still.
coward.
That was really good.
Spot on,
Good for
by the
you.
way.
That was really
That was
good.
brilliant.
He's seeing these guys get all riled, and he's like, "Man, I better get out of here." They're having their rally on top of some children wood blocks, which are boring and lame, and wouldn't have
Is this
sold.
the
Those
Elon
are
wave?
the
or
top
what
sellers
am
of the store.
God.
Yeah. But the cinematographer was like, "Man, we got to get these guys off the floor, man. Give this shot some depth. What kind of boring blocks do we have around here?"
I? Fucking wood blocks Manny was talking about earlier.
Yeah. It's called the inner child. It's the inner child.
These are colored. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and so he comes back and the store display is wrecked. You love to see it. Oh man, it's almost like you shouldn't take a bunch of product on loan like that, and you especially should have turned down the store displays. Getting all jacked up.
Well, look at the displays themselves, man. Put some.
Yeah,
figures
and
on that.
at no point does this kid think to call the insurance company.
Well, he doesn't own these toys, right?
No.
Yeah,
He's
but he
got a
thinks they
criminal
were
record.
robbed.
What are you talking about?
They think
You're
that
not wrong.
somebody
Hold-
broke
I-
in. They should
I
have
didn't
definitely
think about
called
that.
somebody.
But also, nothing is taken besides the toys that he didn't actually own.
Out-of-box
Everything was
collectors.
destroyed.
The store is wrecked.
Yeah, they knocked over some stuff. The annoying thing is, so Kirsten Dunst comes by and helps him clean up, and like she's just a nice person, basically.
Hold on. But you're missing I think we're missing a whole part
What?
here, though. During this time, the rest of the Gorgonites get their ass kicked.
Yeah, that's it goes outside and you just hear them being assaulted, basically. It doesn't show any of that. It just shows
Right.
you just hear it. All. Yeah.
He calls his dad and he's like, "Dad, they broke into the store." The dad's like, "What? My blocks? Are they okay?" He's like, "Yes, you're fine."
Believe it or
They just
not,
took a
Dad,
bunch
they're
of
all still
toys
here.
that- yeah, they're all
What
still
do they
here.
take? Well, nothing. Nobody wants any of this shit.
They put
Not
it
even
all
for
back.
free, dude.
They
Yeah.
just brought in some empty packages. I don't know.
But you know what? I can kind of relate. I can kind of relate to this dad, right? Like they reset the store perfectly, and his like OCD is like he immediately radars in on the one freaking broken thing. It's like the one thing he could actually notice that's slightly off. This like the sail for that big boat is like snapped or something, and he
That
finds that right
reminds
away.
me of Goonies, when Data comes in through like the window and they break the little
Break
statue,
the statue.
and then the mom comes and she's like, "What is that?" And Chuck's like, "Oh God, what?"
Bro, I have such a fucking funny story about breaking a statue as a kid, but I'm just glad Humpty the Dumpty is where he belongs, dude.
All right, well,
Save it
but
for
yeah.
CW Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, someone remind me because it's fucking hilarious.
I mean, that's a pretty good tease. Definitely don't forget to tell it on another stream if you're not going to now. But yeah, man, his dad basically disowns him because the sail is broken on this boat. He's like, I knew you'd never amount to anything. You better get out of here. Yeah, and I mean, and Kirsten Dunst does him a solid and sneaks Archer out before his dad gets a look at it. But then Chad comes back and steals her after he gets Archer.
He's like, shit.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Wah,
the toy.
Archer's looking at this dude
He's
like,
like,
"You fucking
he's like,
bitch.
"Damn, you fucked up."
You're nowhere near as cool."
She
as
rides
my
off on
friend."
this guy's motorcycle. He's here with this toy in his hand. Story of our
Looks like
lives.
we're the same now, Alan.
Oh man, and then
We're both losers, Alan.
Cowards.
and Alan's dad notices his woodworking tools are gone, which really enrages him even more than anything else. Because he's like, I think he later accuses Alan of pawning them or something, as if that'd be
Yeah.
a good idea.
Does,
But,
does he at one point say he's on meth or something? What are you on meth? Or
Crank.
something, or crank.
Yeah. Which another line you wouldn't get in a modern children's film. The mom accusing the child of being on a litany of illicit drugs. But
I actually
yeah.
just bought some crank earlier. It's already kicking in.
I cranked right before the stream.
Wow.
some slow mo. But yeah, Alan's biking home, and the Commando Elite rig up a
bazooka.
massive bungee slingshot and fire brick bazooka.
Look
at
at
his-
those
bicycle.
elbow joints on that
That
slingshot.
is huge.
Yeah, that's
Double
more than 90
joints.
degrees, man. That's one joint, and look how tight those arms get.
He must be in art or something. I don't know.
No, and art's only seamless.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you wouldn't want this guy seamless. That would look crazy after a couple years. But yeah, he's dragging along. The dog bites him a bit. He gets blown up by the bike wheel, and we got our first maiming of a Commando Elite.
It's only a
Bro.
flesh wound, sir.
This kid didn't feel any of this.
Isn't this where he gets stabbed in like the hand or something, or is that later on?
No, he gets
No,
stabbed
that's later.
like 3 times, but it is not one of them. Yeah, they
Like-
let this kid get stabbed a bunch of times.
Yeah. I feel like if I'm driving my car, I know when something's wrong with it immediately. Like, it just doesn't feel the same.
It's the crank, man.
this-
He's just not paying
So
attention.
this kid's fucking riding his bike, and you got a fucking toy dragging on the sidewalk.
The drag of the toy.
Then the dog. Then he's climbing all over everything. Like, you didn't feel any of this shit. It's the most oblivious kid on the planet. It's nuts.
Yeah, and it's a big 6th scale toy. It's not a little action figure. But yeah, this is why they all look hideous, Dean. Today they look so funny when they're performing field surgery on them. That's why those heads, like, look at that guy just screaming while they tape his legs back on. That's good stuff.
His mouth is huge. It's creeping me out.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at this, I think this is all CGI here. It looks like it. These guys, I think there's a lot more CGI in this movie than you think. Like, they did some awesome practical stuff, but I feel like when the crunch starts happening, they just probably start animating stuff. But
I want to know how he got those little hand saws on the back.
Yeah, how they're attached. It's because it's CGI. Yeah, just sticks on there
Magnetic.
like a video
It's
game.
magnetic.
Yeah. Well, actually, some of the some very fancy third party figures do have magnetic attachments for this. But yeah, Chip Hazard's very smart, and he realizes that the Alan lives right over there. Apparently,
Enemy
he
stronghold.
he wasn't biking very far. So they now know where the Gorgonites are holding up, or at least Archer, because they didn't collect the rest of them yet. All right. So yeah, Alan tries to call into customer service at Globotech, and you have this. This I feel like
Meets
this is very
Karen.
contemporary too. She's really like an NPC who is actually equivalent to a robot answering machine. And what were those like in 1998? They were probably like nowadays. You sort of have AI chatbots on the phone. You certainly didn't back then. It was like press a number type stuff, right? So it's funny when he asks for, can you just direct me to a machine rather? She gets so fed up with her, he asks for the machine, which is pretty great. But yeah, so he leaves a message saying that these toys are whack and they're like assaulting stores.
I
and
feel like
breaking
Sherry
things.
O'Terry maybe played that exact character on SNL. It feels very familiar.
Yeah. Very positive, toxic positivity, customer service.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So he leaves a message saying these toys are crazy. Apparently, the message leaving service at this company is very effective compared to trying to talk to somebody, because they seem to find out about it very quickly. And it's great when the revelation comes out that they used military chips in these toys. And he's like, that ball he's playing with, that's something like Alan's dad would probably want that in his store. That, I mean, I don't know if he's allowed polymer based products, but that's like a nerdy, like stimulate your brain type toy. You know, that's not cool. He might like that.
Big
That's
rib
plastic.
on
He
the
probably
nose.
doesn't want any plastic in that.
Yeah, exactly. Synthetic polymers. But yeah, so I guess Archer's reading about himself now. For some reason on there. I can't tell if you got to place that on the back there. Something looks weird in the bottom there. That'd be cool to see if there's photos of these props online somewhere. See what
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it. An exclusive diorama set sold separately.
Yeah, maybe a catapult or something.
Get Wave 2 diorama sets.
So yeah, the Commando Elite are executing their first home invasion, and they're making fake Gorgonite distress calls to trick Archer to come out in the hallway. And apparently, you can overwhelm his eyeball cameras very easily and capture him.
It's like Gizmo.
Yeah, this is good stuff, right?
I
Like, check
remember
this out.
this part. This was awesome.
I feel like we've sort of, as a North American culture, gotten away from the Blade food disposals and sinks. Like, do you guys still have a lot of those? Because I feel like I haven't seen one of those in forever. I feel like that was like a 90s thing. People realize you shouldn't just funnel tons of greasy food down your sink drain or something. Even though
Wait,
they
y'all don't
chop it
have-
up.
Y'all don't have garbage disposals?
Yeah, but it's like there's still oils and stuff like collected in your pipes if you do that too much. So I don't know. It's probably I feel
We're
like
heathens, that's why.
It would just
But
flush
it-
all into the oceans.
Yeah.
yeah, well that's where it's
Right.
going if you put it in the garbage anyway, right? But
Bro.
but what's up, team?
One, Archer has zero fucking survival instincts. He gets caught immediately.
Not surprised.
It's like, and then yeah,
Why is that, Manny?
Man, he's like he
I
never
hate
liked
him. He's a coward, man.
and then Archer is a pretty big figure. I mean, look at him literally compared to the size of this sink. He's not fitting in that fucking garbage disposal. You could drop him right on top of it. He's not hitting those blades
Nope. Bouncing.
ever. I just thought it was really funny that it's like this scene where it's like, oh, he's over the. It's like he's not fitting in there. This isn't suspenseful at all.
Yet the second biggest figure on this entire scene is the one that ends up fitting in the disposal.
Right.
Third
Yeah.
biggest, I guess.
I mean, Nick
Wait,
Nitro.
he does go leg first.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
He's got the funniest head sculpt
Yeah.
of the Commando Elite for
Yeah.
Look at that jawline.
sure. Yeah, he's just crazy looking, and he gets Alan jams him in there, feet first, and he does
Bro,
fit in.
that
how
is
I'm trying to be.
clearly a different scaled figure. We all know how big.
It looks like a repainted Mr. T toy.
Like, we all know how big sink drains are. And go back to the figure of them on the counter. These guys are huge. Like, it's no fucking shot. They literally go from 6 scale to like 12 scale to fit in that drain.
I kind of object to this complaint in a movie like this, but I mean, like, on principle. But
It makes it better, but like, no shot is at the same toy.
When we're done with this, I'm gonna go put this figure by my drain, and we'll see how it scales.
And I would still
And
say
turn it on.
that's smaller than the ones in the
Yeah.
movie.
all right, when then Sam Witwicky's dad comes down with the baseball bat, ready to crack some heads because there's a burglary
Of course,
going
it's
on.
wood.
He got
With
that
his-
from the store.
with his little
Well,
nose
I just
strip.
bought this.
Yeah, he's like,
I just got
I
this
don't
from the
like
convention.
guns.
fighting congestion
It's
and
the,
villains.
it's the newest model
Yeah.
coming to the store next year.
He's got his no snoring strip on. That's great.
The wife is all pissed. Like, what are you gonna do with a fucking bat, dude? We're all gonna get killed now because
My hero.
you refuse to buy a gun.
Look at the look on her face. She's regretting so many
She's
things
so
right
annoyed.
He's just running through the house saying, "I'm Batman." It's like, well, not that.
And Nick Nitro escapes for some reason. He's able to climb out of the sink.
Wait, were
Yeah,
they just
no one
eating
notices
salt?
it.
What was that?
I don't
It's
know,
the crank.
Crank.
but it's a wood spoon, not a metal spoon. So I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
he's doing with that.
Everything's
But,
wood there.
Yes, right. You're not allowed metal.
God damn, dude.
It adds a very nice oaky aftertone.
Yeah, but once again, Dad's pissed. This Alan's a failure at everything. Why is he up so late? What's he doing? Mom's like, "Are you on?" This is where she asked him if he's on crank.
She
pretty
saw
good.
it in the sink.
Yeah. It's like, what is your deal, Junior? But they just let him go back up to his room. And, Archer wouldn't talk for Alan to show his parents that he could talk. Conveniently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Commando Elites here plotting their next evil activity here, and dead Nick Nitro. It would just, I don't know, this remind me of like Predator or something. They put him in like a pencil case body bag. It's pretty good.
Yes, I remember that.
I don't understand why he dies from this. Because arguably, the guy on the bicycle had a much worse injury.
Which
He
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 literally
literally
got
has
one
like
leg.
in his
in
legs.
half.
In his legs after being torn up by the disposal, right? He had like wires hanging out. Yet Brick Bazooka, when he gets attacked by the dog and his legs pop off, there's nothing there.
Yeah,
And
his
just put 'em
waist
right back
is in
together.
half, his legs are off. This guy just lost the lower half of his legs.
So
No.
inconsistent.
He's like, what's his name from Forrest Gump?
Yeah,
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
Dan.
Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
But he dies from that injury. It just didn't make sense. I didn't get it.
Well, they weren't able to get to him in time to save him.
They popped the other
From
guy's
what?
legs in.
I don't
Save
know.
him
This
from
is where we're
what?
getting hung up. This is where we're getting hung up.
Well,
the battery, they don't even need new batteries. They're lifetime batteries,
Well,
or so they say.
if you recall, Chip at this scene, Chip says Nick Nitro's battery has run out, but it's a metaphor, I think.
Right. But it's like he's not bleeding out. They don't have blood. What killed them?
Yeah, I think his soul just left his body, Dean.
He lost his will to live. He pulled a Padme.
Yeah, he was like,
He's
I
going to
went
beat
from
the great
some-
Energizer Bunny in the sky.
Yeah. So
my
for
body
they sort
changed scales too many times. I can't handle it.
Yeah, that wreaks havoc on the system, man. But they figure out the Gorgonites are probably hiding in the garbage because Archer gets some great idea about that. I
I know
forget
where
why.
they are.
Sounds
They are
accurate.
hiding.
These cowards.
Wow.
Yeah, Alan is like, if I was a loser, where would I be? And he looks at the trash
Trash.
can and it's like, the
Be
trash.
working at this toy store.
He should have just set that dumpster on fire and called it a day.
Yeah, I mean they sort of blend into the garbage really well. What is this little? Okay, look at that box. There's like
Ocula.
a crappy little wooden duck box.
I like the actual gremlin.
Oh,
This has to be a Star Wars reference, right?
Which?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
from
eyeball?
the trap shoot.
Oh, I mean the Dianoga. I don't know. I guess so. It looks a bit like that, I suppose.
It reads very that scene, right? With the eyeball coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how that is like such an iconic thing when it's like 4 seconds of footage in the A New Hope. But yeah, it didn't occur to me, but it does sort of look like the Dianoga.
With the gremlin sitting in the middle there.
Oh, there's a Gizmo,
Gizmo.
toy in the garbage. I didn't.
That's
yeah,
not
I
the
didn't-
Ewok you needed?
How dare
Did you find
sir.
that one in the trash too?
Yeah. If it wasn't carded, you might find it in the garbage. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's a good little Easter egg that I missed while watching the movie. The Gizmo in there, which
Can we identify the ducks? The duck cards right there. Or
No,
the duck box.
I think it's some wooden toy box.
Dude, don't say that. Zach's gonna pop in here and
Yeah. I'd say ducks 3 times.
Say his name and he appears.
And then what was this guy's name? They rebuilt him.
He is
Frankenbeans.
what is it? Not Flat Chew. No, he's not Flat Chew. He's
I know you know.
he goes, I have a bad case of the AM/FM.
Yeah, they used Alan's dad's radio to partially rebuild him, which is quite an aesthetic, really. I
I'm
don't know why
fucking
he.
shocked that dude owned a radio, to be honest.
It's an old ham radio.
I mean, radios are pretty old. Like that you got like 130 years of history there. But yeah, man, I don't know why they needed the flesh tone like piece of skin. I don't know where he found that on the radio. There's an ear molded into it. Don't think too hard about it.
It's someone's foreskin. They just found it.
Green
Yeah, what's this
LED.
liquid? Where the fuck are they getting liquid out of a radio?
Well, they're general artificial intelligence. Who knows, man? They get up to some wild stuff.
Also, like a gauge. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The more I
mean-
look at this, the less it makes sense.
Oh,
Well, you
that
never-
was Freakenstein.
Okay. You got the cast up.
Yep. Well, I pulled up
And
the
then-
toy names.
So then you have this cool scene where our two toy designers go to see Robert Picardo from Star Trek, and he's crazy and he's real scorned that his chips got scrapped, but he's very excitedly tells them that
And then he
they're no
sneezes
regular
in his
chips.
suit. It's all over his mask.
Yeah.
We're like,
This scene really confused me because when it starts, I'm thinking because they go in there kind of with their tails between their legs
right.
because they're like, oh, we need to like really figure out what the fuck is going on with these chips because they kind of hear. I think we missed a scene, or I might have been out of the room, where they're in a conference and they kind of here and so they're kind of like, oh fuck, these chips are kind of not what we thought they were. So
Right, because
they
he
go
gets the bald guy gets the phone call.
right from Alan
Yeah.
that's like, your fucking toys are alive. So when they go see this chip guy, they kind of go in there with their tail tucked between their legs. And I thought it was going to be like this revelation where the guy is like, oh, these chips do all this stuff. What are you using them for? And they're like, toys. And I thought it was going to be like, what the fuck did you put them in toys for? But this dude knew that they were going in the toys off the rip. And I was like, you didn't try and stop this? Like, considering how doom and gloom this guy is about the chip, he wasn't like, hey guys, that's probably not a good idea. Like, they didn't even want to put these things in missiles, much less
Listen,
toys.
they were his baby, man. He was just excited they're going to be used for something. He's not
I
responsible.
guess you're not
for-
wrong, but I thought that scene was gonna go one way, and it totally. I was like, what?
He
crazy.
gave me the vibe of like that burned out employee, right? Because you're like, oh, I guess it's not worth this and that. Basically, like this was all his work, and they just threw it into some toys. So he's just like pissed off and doesn't care anymore.
Doesn't
Did he get
give
paid
them
for
the
his
key
work?
To,
He
to
was on
beat
the clock.
Doesn't he give him the key of how to like shut off the chips?
Yeah, he lets
Yeah, he
that
gives him the
slip.
idea, the EMP.
He
That's
says like the
EMP,
flaw. What's
that's right,
wrong
the
with them?
EMP.
Oh, the same flaw that all electronics have, pretty much.
I was gonna say that's not like a fucking secret thing.
Hey,
Well, you know,
WWF.
Yeah, Dean, it was 1998. EMPs were, every kid didn't know what an EMP was in 1998, like we do now. But
You're not wrong.
Who's
You're
on the
not wrong.
screen there? Is that The Rock?
Looks
And,
like The Rock and
Oh, what's his name?
I don't know.
well, it
Like
should be
he-
The Rock.
He
It's
barks,
1998.
right? He was like
Barks,
like the
he-
big dog or something like
That's
that.
WCW stuff right there, right?
That's WWF.
WWF.
That's
Right?
WWF.
WWF.
Fake
With the old school
fan.
logo, dude.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that dude is.
Yeah.
All right.
I can picture.
Yeah.
it.
It's a quick shot there. You got the state of the art standard def television going, color TV so that Alan's allowed to have for some reason.
And that guy's on the Gorgonites.
Imagine having toys this good, but picture quality that bad. Man, it's such an alternate universe. And then this was a weird thing, right? Like Kirsten Dunst, like just really loves Led Zeppelin. Like it's something from like 20 years, but like before she's like 16 and she's like, yeah, Led Zeppelin's the shit.
They,
It's like
they
I
both
can,
happen to love Led Zeppelin.
yeah, like I don't
I
know.
mean, let's be honest. Led Zeppelin's pretty fucking great. Like,
I know, but
I mean,
feel
I
like,
love Led Zeppelin, but not when I was 15.
I mean, I like
well, they weren't out
80s
yet.
Yeah. Oh, fuck you.
God, I liked 80s metal when I was in high school, but like nobody else did. Like it wasn't cool.
Fuck you. I'm out of here.
But she has like the pink room and the
Yeah.
Oh my
all the
God.
little.
It's like the set designer didn't remember the part of the script that she likes Led Zeppelin until after, so they just tacked the poster in there.
Or they just didn't take it off from the last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I feel like she had a couple other interesting posters in her room. I don't
Ahmed
know if I got
Johnson.
dropped.
Ahmed
Sorry,
Johnson.
Big Fern coming in clutch. That was the
Oh,
other
cool.
wrestler.
Wow, look at that. He figured that out from like 5 pixels of information.
Yeah, I recognize the guy. I just could not place the name, but I could picture him.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and here's a great example, guys. Like just some film terminology. Most movies are shot with a 48th of a second shutter speed. And as you can see with Alan's melting hand here, that's how much a hand can move in a 48th of a second. That's why it looks blurry as hell there. But the motion blur bridges the gap between the 24 frames a second visually, so you don't think about the fact that you're watching a slideshow 24/7. But
Nerd.
wow.
Learn shit on movies, not learn, brother.
He always
Well-
he always Googles big buff black guy. He just added WWE 97.
Right? And now we know what Fern's doing the rest of the night.
Well, at least he knows how Google works. That's something a lot of us can be accused of not understanding when we ask things we shouldn't be asking all the time. But yeah, so the Commando Elites do a phone tap because they're real advanced, and they connect their walkie-talkie to the phone line at Alan's house, and they find out that he's got a weakness, and that's Kirsten Dunst. So they will immediately plot to kidnap her and use her in a hostage ISIS video.
You know, I never noticed that his eyes are red. That dude that was listening, I never noticed that till today.
This guy,
Yeah, he has red eyes. It's wild.
you can barely even see them here on this
What are
close-up.
you looking
Well,
at?
I bought the HD version, not like Mike. He has the cheap one, so I was able to see. It.
Oh,
It
wow.
was like, yeah.
Damn.
So I'm old
I don't-
and cheap. Cool.
I don't
Thanks
know.
for having me, guys. It's fun.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But yeah, man. I think Mike got the HD one with his barcode scanning thing. But
Hey,
Along
I
with
don't know
his
who's watching.
wooden boat. that
It's not a
was destroyed
secret.
in
It's
the Toy
a
Story.
known thing.
Yeah, he's got like I don't know. I'm trying to always analyze what posters they got up. That's just looks like some type of dinosaur skeleton or something up there. But
Why do you have so many screenshots of these cowards?
wow,
just always
I'm
hating.
actually
They're the
shocked
heart
that
of the
Manny
film.
doesn't like the Gorgonites.
yeah.
God,
I mean,
I love the Gorgonites.
they're such a big part of the visual intrigue of this movie. Okay, you got Phil Hartman setting up like the biggest CRT I've ever seen. Maybe it's rear
Yeah.
projection. I don't know. But he's very stoked about his home theater. And he sort of seems like identical character to how he is in Jingle All the Way. And look at maybe he's watching Cops or something, or just the news,
Speed.
police chase there. Looks like a helicopter police chase. And, there's just a pointless gag. They just give Phil Hartman stuff to do where he puts his stereo too loud and goes crazy and his wife don't like him. It's pretty good stuff. And there's the Commando Elites roofie Phil Hartman and his wife, which and I don't know where they got the materials from, but
Standard issue.
yeah. And the little dingus little brother sees
Little
that
dingus.
he's got all the Commando Elites. The parents hooked him up with and I'd be pissed if my parents unpackaged my whole wave of new figures, but he doesn't seem to mind that too much.
And then he starts playing with them, right? He goes, and then you kill this guy, and now you're the captain. He's like, wasn't my idea, Captain, I promise.
Yeah, and they string up the kid in short order, which is this is where you start to empathize with the Commando Elite a little bit, because he's annoying. But they're not killers. They could have easily taken out this kid, and they don't.
They're just very
Imagine
focused.
they just
don't want
slice his
Commando
neck.
Elite.
They just bleeds out. Holy.
He's not a Gorgonite, so he doesn't
It's
get
not
that
the
sort of-
80s.
The sister comes in,
God.
steps on his corpse. She's like, "What the hell?"
What's all squishy in here? She turns the lights on.
All right, so here's some of another scene they would not do in a current film. The Commando Elites discover the Gwendy doll collection because Kirsten Dunst collects
This is
Barbies,
hilarious.
even though she
Look how
loves
she
Led
has them
Zeppelin.
posed. Looks
Yeah,
like
she's
Mike's
got that.
collection.
Oh
And
wow!
God.
look how they're right up to the edge of the shelf too. Like that's dangerous. Look at it, almost feet are half off the shelf, man. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Dad didn't buy her a good display case because he's buying that TV.
Yeah, and and look at that. She's very trendy. That was something that was clearly not meant to be looked at for more than 2 seconds during the show. But
Are these artisan figures?
Look at the one on the left. What is she supposed to be?
I think
Yeah,
she's
this is
I think she's 60s Catwoman or something. But either way, they're emulating.
dominatrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and this is one of my favorite insert shots. It's like there's like showing
Yes.
Barbie's bed right after. It's like not even one of the dolls. And these guys are just like ogling them, and they cut to an insert of a bed.
Right. And the one guy asks if he can go on leave or something like that.
Denied. Yeah. I mean, look at that mug. Look how crazy he looks. That's great. Oh man. But yeah, so they waste no time in using the Nick Nitro's chip to somehow they manage to duplicate his chip like times 100, which makes no sense. And they set up an assembly line to make Terminator Barbies with blenders.
Yeah, all
and-
within like 15 fucking minutes. And
And
look,
why does this guy
Shave
have a
their
mask on
heads.
his face? He doesn't breathe.
It's the aesthetic.
if you want to make believe that these guys can recreate a very sophisticated microchip out of a blender and some household items.
Well, to be fair, I think they're
give
supposed to
you
be a bit stupider than the Commando Elite. They're not. It's not the real chip. It's a lower
Right.
grade. Yeah.
but these Gwendy dolls don't have an endoskeleton like these guys, or motors or servos. What exactly is driving these figures?
They might as well hot glued those
I think
chips
it's the
to their chests and
I think it's the power of Satan, guys. Demonic energy.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because they're
and-
fully autonomous now. They can move and jump and
yeah. And the
it's
and
like,
the
with what motors?
And
This is like some Sid stuff from Toy Story.
That's exactly what this is.
And I think most of the Gwendy dolls are voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar, which I recognized right away, and apparently Christina Ricci too, but I didn't pick up on that at the time.
This came out before Toy Story.
No, Toy Story
No,
1
Toy
is
Story
96.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 98 or 99.
That's 98
2.
too. Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't wait too long to make 2. Not like they do these days. But
This
but yeah,
guy.
this
Oh yeah, 95. You're right. I was
yeah,
wrong.
Archer discovers the wind. A very philosophical moment.
Idiot.
Bro.
Some would call him a coward.
Just
Meanwhile,
'cause you
they-
can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah,
you're
whatever,
fucking
coward.
cowardice.
Jesus
Well, I mean-
Christ.
Well, if you're talking line of sight, that applies every day. But basically, they don't notice the Frankenstein's laboratory lightning flashes across the way while they're looking at.
Isn't that the same message in was it Santa Claus or
Yeah, it's a very typical
Yeah, it
Christian.
is. Yeah,
it's a very
yeah.
it's a Christian apologist theme. It's something they say when they're arguing with atheists. But anyways, we got Chad dropping off Kirsten Dunst again. He's trying to get in the house. Classic
trying
Chad.
to get in their pants, dude?
He won't go away. And
He's
this
like,
is great.
bro, I'm trying to get in there before Peter, dude.
Well, he's a few years ahead of that. But yeah, she goes to put her jacket in the closet, and the kid's strung up in there. She don't even notice him. She throws her jacket on his head. Love to see it.
This kid didn't even attempt to make any noise.
Yeah, he's tied up. He's
I would
very
have been throwing
incompetent.
my body all left and right.
Right? What the hell?
Yeah,
Also,
and you have. Go ahead.
How did he get in there? You know,
They put him in there. I don't know. They stabbed him until he ran in there.
Witchcraft.
So that means his legs are free. Stand up, kid. They didn't carry him in there.
Anyway, all right. Well, yeah, they have basically an unlimited supply of Gwendy dolls apparently, because they have the ones in the muffin tin are still up there, but there's like about 100 more running around. But they already
Bro,
they
the
already cooked
muffin
them.
tin is hilarious.
And this is quite a sight, Like this is
Wait, go
they've-
back a photo. Oh, okay. I was like,
I
did she
think-
have 2 of the same Led Zeppelin
No, it's a different
posters?
post.
But that was different.
But she
They
got
took
some
her
black
TV
light.
apart and everything.
Yeah,
The TV's
that's
just
a tube.
destroyed.
Yeah, it's a CRT tube hanging from the ceiling. It's crazy. But yeah, she got some black light posters too. She's probably smoking the dope or something. Like, who knows, man? She's crazy. Listen to Led Zeppelin. And then apparently, what do you call that internal separate eye rolling system that Hot Toys have? Apparently, the Gwendy dolls
Hers.
have that thing, because their heads get pulled back and you can see that they have like eyeballs in there, which is not how Barbies are constructed. But I mean, this is good fun stuff, man.
This is nightmare fuel.
Really?
She
It kind of
gets,
turned me on.
she gets lassoed with some Mardi Gras beads or something. And it's like Gulliver's Travels, man. It's pretty funny.
Bald-headed bikini cowboy girls crawling all over me.
With camo.
I'm on.
I mean,
Sign me
yeah,
up.
With
yeah.
their heads stretched out. Yeah, it really turns me on.
Yeah, and Chad was waiting for a reason to kick open the door.
Yeah, he was trying to go back to make an excuse to come in because he saw his parents were knocked out.
He was just waiting by the door, like waiting to hear anything. He just runs in.
Great
He
90s
looks so
haircut.
disinterested
I had
in
that
helping.
same haircut.
As soon as he opens the door, they just stab him in the neck, and he's like, "Shit!" He just falls back and dies.
Looks like a member at 98 Degrees here. They're climbing
Yeah.
him. They're like, oh, it's a man. Look at that beautiful head
Oh
sculpt
my god, you
there.
need to change this picture. I'm getting too turned on.
Mike, I need a picture of you with that hair.
No chance.
And the Commando Elite are very fond of lighting things on fire. So they light Chad's feet on fire, and he hilariously tumbles down the stairs while on fire. And then I think he just runs away, and he's never seen again.
He takes his pants off and runs away.
Okay, yeah, that's it for him. And then Commando Elite sends their ISIS videotape via projectile through Alan's window.
He
Which is
runs to
pretty
his
great.
that dude runs to his parents. He's like, "You're never gonna believe this. These toys attacked me, and they're like liar, liar, pants on fire." And he's like, "Yes." He's like, "My pants were on fire." Like, what the
So
hell?
you were there.
Yeah,
You saw it happen.
that's
Oh,
funny.
amazing. Look, we got this is how you send a video message back in the day, children. You had to put out a VHS and fire it through a cannon, basically, through someone's window.
With a rotisserie chicken skewer.
Right?
Oh, he's grabbing that neck a little too
Oh,
too
man.
good there. I don't know
Come
what
on
Bro.
now.
going on.
What's
There's
Come on.
no shot. There's enough tension to keep that VHS in place. It's sliding right through those things.
This
There's
movie's
no
bullshit.
zip ties or anything.
There's a rubber band holding it on.
Where?
Right there. It
White
holds
Right in the
note.
middle.
It holds,
VHS
there's a
don't
note
have a
on the
white
front.
line.
It's under the bar.
Oh,
I
stop
think
it.
it's still going like that.
Oh boy.
It
Big ol'
doesn't
frame.
go over the bar. It goes under the bar. It's not holding shit in place.
Yeah, well, that's physics are the biggest problem with this movie, Dean. I have to agree, all over the place. But yeah, like I said, it's here's your hostage videotape, shot from a cave somewhere, and she doesn't look too stressed out, but she reads the script as instructed.
It's just like, hey, your fucking toys are bothering me. Can you come fucking deal with this?
Can you come
They
get
might have
him?
killed my little brother. I'm not sure. So they hatched the genius plan of putting a cardboard box that says Gorgonites out front. It's surprisingly effective. I just like the idea that the Commando Elites, they somehow have procured a full stick of dynamite. I don't know where they got it from. The local hunting store maybe have that for some illegal fishing. I don't know what's going on, but
A full stick of dynamite. I think it's supposed
Yeah.
to just be like a firecracker or something.
it looks pretty
You gotta,
big.
you gotta remember scale.
Right.
What
And
is
then,
this, the Looney Tunes?
Yeah, Archer uses they
This
use the most
Acme.
roundabout way. Like Archer needs to get in the chimney, so they put him on a rocket. Instead of just
Also-
Alan could just throw him onto the roof.
Are there no like other neighbors that are coming out like, yo, what's going on?
Why are you shooting fucking rockets in the yard? Also,
Listen, wait, hold on.
No, it's
I
a
have
nice neighborhood. Everyone
two
stays to
things here.
themselves.
One, I had that rocket. It never
Yep.
went straight up. So
No,
that's
it did
bullshit.
not.
With a figure
Two,
tied onto it.
they
These
set
are-
up the whole thing with the neighbors earlier when he was playing his stereo real loud. Later, they showed the neighbors closing their windows and everything when all the racket hit, blaming on him and playing his stereo too loud.
you're not wrong.
So that's why nobody else shows
Yeah,
up.
and he also does try and call the cops at one point, and they just don't believe him and hang up on him. I think.
Two things. Go back one photo. This dude has Tick's headset from Bad Batch.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Also, the fucking rocket scene where he shoots him up into a rocket and he parachutes with no parachute controls directly
Directly
into,
into the
directly
chimney.
into the chimney. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but chimneys go directly to the bottom floor. Why didn't you just open the back door and put him in there and like?
Well, no, he's sneaking into the house that's locked up, Dean.
It's all locked? How did the
Yes.
kid get in there? Oh, I guess the front door?
This is the girl's house, man.
Yeah, they were watching the exits. They're not dumb.
So he put the box out front to attract them, and then he sends Archer up the roof. Although, like I said, he could have just thrown him up there. It probably would have been more accurate than the rocket, but the rocket worked out perfectly, luckily for him. But anyways,
They're
yeah, that's
definitely not watching the exits because that's how he gets in the
Oh,
house.
And
They're
they're
watching
all
the
in the
front.
front yard too when he's like
Yeah.
putting the
The-
box
the
out
front-
there.
Oh yeah,
the
it was
front-
locked. Doesn't he has to unlock the door?
Yeah, that's why Archer's sneaking in to unlock the back door because they're all at the front looking at the Gorgonite box, and he sees the roofied parents, and he's like, "Yeah, typical Thursday night for these
They don't
guys."
even blink an eye.
Bro,
Parents are
look
dead.
how perfectly spaced the chips are on his shirt. Like that's the most unconvincing fell asleep while eating
Mess.
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, called out, set decorator, whoever you are. That's a pretty.
Yo, that's
okay.
a full-on stick of dynamite.
Okay, maybe. It's a quarter stick.
It's not a
M80.
firecracker.
M80 at least.
Yeah. So some
I
more
gotta look away
awesome,
now.
awesome Gwendy
Look
dolls. That
away.
was she's got a alkaline battery backpack there with nice touch.
What the fuck are the batteries powering? None of the other bitches had batteries.
servos that don't exist? But yeah,
A
here's
little
another one that
consistency would be nice.
I think, and you know what? I think the Commando Elite hand painted on all these bras because
What
there's
is she
definitely not
holding in her hand?
a nail. I think
Nail.
Is it?
Nail.
yeah,
Get your
with
mind out of the gutter.
the magnet on there.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't hold her fucking accessories either, dude.
You might be able to see a string tying it on there, but yeah, she had like a blade bolted onto her other arm. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, wait. These bitches can fucking fully autonomize, but she can't grab. Her fingers can't fucking grasp what she's carrying.
There's
And
no
the
joint there.
producer's like,
Dean.
how are we gonna
Listen,
attach
even
this
Inart doesn't know how to make the
super glue?
fingers work yet, Dean. Come on.
And Kirsten Dunst gets like a golf club or something, and she just wrecking Barbies.
A baton.
Imagine
It's
she
a
just
baton.
knocks him out. Boom. She's like, oh shit.
Also-
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, you guys remember what she says at this moment?
She's I never
never
liked these
liked it.
anyway.
Then why the fuck did you have 50 of them? You fucking bitch. I gotta find them all. They're
I
stabbing
thought
me.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's like I liked you until you said that, Kirsten Dunst. You're not one of us.
Yeah, next thing you know, he's gonna put Led Zeppelin on. She's gonna be like, I always hated this fucking band.
This is my favorite Small Soldiers Commando Elite armament here. The toaster that shoots flaming compact discs. This is by far their greatest achievement technologically. They somehow juice that thing up to have like amazing
What is it
firepower.
mounted on? A
I was
hole
about to
saw?
say-
What is that? Yeah.
Fucking toast can't even come out of toaster sometimes.
And look at that flaming DVDs that are so high velocity that they stab into a picture on the wall. Right into the picture of Kirsten Dunst and her parents. Awesome.
Low
Went
key,
to that little
pretty
boy.
As the
terrifying.
little boys like over there, like I hate my life.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty, this is serious stuff. This is dangerous, But she takes great pleasure in explaining to Alan that she sneaks out of the house all the time, and he's like, "Great, I wonder what's going on there."
Great, you're a whore.
Wow.
And he's like, "Be careful," and she's like, "You be careful, you dingus. I'm the one killing all the Barbies, and you've been stabbed like 3 times by now."
Yeah, you came to
And-
rescue me. I ended up rescuing you, you fucking dipshit. You're just like the Gorgonites, you fucking loser.
Coward.
Yeah.
Coward.
And this is great. The whole garage blows up, and they come out with all their RC tanks.
When do they have time to dismantle that kid's motorcycle and make a new vehicle?
After
They
they
did it while they were doing all the Barbies, Dean. They did it all in 15 minutes.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
it's-
awesome. I mean, I think a Queen song starts playing here. You got some corn skewers, which Alan gets shot with, which is pretty funny. He gets beat up a lot. I think he gets stabbed by a little knife a couple separate times, and then he gets taken out by these little skewer launchers here. Kirsten Dunst doesn't really get hurt, but Alan gets hurt quite a bit.
Also,
Super relatable. Everyone had those.
go back to the corn cob things. Right? Yeah, right here. What exactly is projectiling these things forward? There's no
Imagination.
air behind them.
Maybe
Looks
it's like
they looks like they go down into that pipe.
It's a nail gun or something, Dean. You're questioning it too much. Don't worry about it. It's from something from
Oh,
the
it's like a
workshop.
magazine. It was like it's dropping down into it.
How? Those things are welded there. It doesn't-
What are you talking about, man?
It-
What are you?
What are you talking about? You can see it.
This is a
No,
cartoon,
but go
Dean.
back. There's no mechanism to lower the next one down. That's a solid piece
That other
of
one's
metal.
loaded.
Yeah, that one's loaded.
You're,
But what's
Dean,
bringing the other ones down?
Dean, back in
Dude,
1998.
this was made for entertainment, man. This is like real life war here,
First
dude.
of all, On the
Have you seen
VHS,
this fucking show? This is what we're supposed
yes.
to be doing here.
on the 4x3 VHS, you wouldn't even be able to see that part of it. And further to that, back then they would even hide offensive jokes in on like single frames back then because they couldn't have conceived that in 20 years' time we'd be able to freeze frame and HD frame and really analyze their work.
I've seen Fight Club. I know how that works.
This is
Unheard of.
Don't,
Yeah.
Those aren't my corn skewers.
They don't look exactly like the ones I had. But yeah, Alan gets shot with them, which is like that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, kind of low key terrifying. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, and they escape on a very 80s looking scooter thing.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
I was watching the HD version, unlike Mike, and on a lot of these shots, you can see the stunt double. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, I think I have one of them. But you know, this is I mean they're driving their RC cars with full like Elon Musk flamethrowers attached on there. And look at that. Like he's just
Oh
having a
my
great
Lord.
time.
Thank you for the nightmares.
That might be a practical puppet there. That looks pretty good. You got some flame light interaction going on there. And they shoot like
burn a whole-
missiles. They have like missiles that
tree
take
down.
out trees down, and then they shoot a telephone pole down too.
Bro, I don't know why they don't just kind of drive next to them and kick them off. You realize they're toys,
They
right?
got
Kick
they got
them!
knives.
Are they
got-
toys? He just got stabbed 13 times in the leg. I ain't going near that fucking thing.
Well, it can only shoot forward.
There's
Drive
some
next
stunt,
to them and kick them.
there's some stunt doubles there for you
Yeah.
guys.
Jeez.
Oh, there you go.
A couple of 30-year-olds on there.
I couldn't see that on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just like when Arnold is, escaping on the bike in Terminator 2, and it's clearly not him. It's totally comparable. So she does a sweet jump. There's a
Yeah, it
stunt
looks
double
just
again.
like
The
just
ET
like
jump.
the Terminator scene.
Bro, one of the worst stunt jumps I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
But here's the weird thing: like all the Commando Elite's vehicles are like linked up for some reason. They like hooked onto each other. I don't know what they're forming, like a Megazord or something. But they just can't survive that jump, and they like very anticlimactically all crash and blow up.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and it's a fake out. You're meant to believe that that's it, just like at the ending of Terminator 1, and they stare at the fire and say, "Yeah, we made it, boys."
What
But,
what exactly exploded? They were using power tools. They didn't have
they have
gasoline engines on those cars.
flamethrowers. They had gas tanks on there somewhere
Yeah,
for
they
the
had a
flamethrowers.
torch.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, that makes sense.
You're like, "Oh, that's perfectly logical."
Because they were
Yeah.
using like Craftsman's power tools, and those are all were electric. And like
Yeah.
when they're driving, they're very clearly like RC cars. So I was like, they weren't using.
And then they
gas
turn like to
engines,
those
but the
what are they called?
flamethrower makes
Erector set style
Yeah.
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah.
And then Toasted Chip Hazard floats directly to a Commando Elite warehouse,
The real toy store,
Yeah,
where the
6
real
blocks
Commando Elites
away.
are.
and it has no Gorgonites inside it whatsoever. That they're not.
It's just the
It's
Commando
my type of
Elite.
store.
Yeah,
They
what
shorted-
the fuck, Chris? That's a good point.
The
None
short
of
of those
these
cases-
fucking.
Yeah, the test market didn't like the Gorgonites, so we're just gonna they're gonna be the chase figures.
Yeah, because let's be honest. Most people would be like, Manny, I'm not buying the fucking Gorgonites. Or, I'm getting the fucking Commando Elite.
I don't want
No
to
chance all the Commando Elites would still be on the shelf. And then 2, they would fucking start killing the Gorgonites, and every morning these people would walk into the store like, why the fuck are all these toys?
Yeah, they didn't know that was gonna
Destroyed.
happen. They got
That's a
They're-
good point. What the fuck? Allen
Yeah.
was the only store to get Gorgonites
No, he-
in
the-
stock.
I lost 8 boxes. I'm sorry. That's what he's saying right here.
well, they're getting recalled now. They're already getting recalled, I think, because of the phone call that Alan made, which would be incredibly. I think they make a joke about how costly it's going to be for the company. Like it's like when you guys like when they do it, when people try to get like their Hot Toys DeLorean sent back for like a paint detail. Now it's like, man, you guys, you know how much it costs to ship these things? Like it's just not economical to ever offer you customer service. It doesn't make any sense. You might as well just burn the thing. But you're sending back all these packages. You know, it's like you know, recently when the Wicked Barbies came out and they had the porn site URL on the back, that was a quick fix because they just had to come around and put a sticker on top of it. So if you ever see any of those, they still have the porn site URL. They just put a sticker over top of it. That's because it's so uneconomical to ship everything back for something stupid like that. It'll ruin your entire product. You'll never be able to make money.
Said, here you go, place them on there.
Yeah. Well, a rep came down to every store and put them on like all the boxes. That was cheaper than sending them back. But yeah, man, they're gonna recall all these Commando Elites. But not before Chip Hazard gets his hands on one more truckload of them.
Bro, I know we keep joking that Archer is a coward. This fucking dude's a coward. Just grab him. What the fuck?
He's got a knife to his throat.
Bro, you're not going to get that much, that hurt.
Shit.
In the amount of time it takes to
It's gonna
just
hurt
grab
that
him.
bad.
Major Chip Hazard like that. Please do not do that. Not while I'm here.
Also, like, bro, he's got little fucking servos and shit. Like, the human body could move faster than a fucking little toy. Like, come on. Are we for real?
Can we mute Dean and just keep on going, please?
It's like Small Soldiers is so unrealistic in SA. Yeah, but now finally the parents believe them that the toys are artificial intelligence robots because they finally get a look at it. And wouldn't you know it, our two goonish toy designers arrive on the scene just in time to reunite the cast for the big finale here.
How did they know where he lived?
I think he told them when he called.
The voicemail or whatever when he left, when he called. Yeah.
And this guy's just like,
Give him the exact
righteous.
address?
Well, you know,
Global Tech Secret Service.
well, they're causing a lot of trouble. They're gonna come clean it up. But he's excited to see that working. The Commando Elite cut the power to the house, as you do.
The new Commando Elite.
Yeah. And they're rolling up to the house, unboxing.
All the shipper boxes are just there.
Okay,
Yeah.
presumably the toy store is only 6 blocks away.
Oh, he took the truck all the way there to the guy's house.
When the fuck did they have time to stop and get all these weapons? They're straight out of the fucking boxes.
Those are just fireworks taped onto a kiddie car, man. He just went to.
Where'd they get
made
the
one stop.
fireworks?
They made one stop and bought some fireworks. They made the truck
From
driver.
Giant Toys.
Yeah, get out, buy
And
us
firework-
fucking
and
rockets
fireworks, though.
and knives and swords.
Dude,
and
I've
a
been to
fucking
America.
Jeep.
You can buy fireworks at every gas station in America. I've seen it myself. So I don't find that hard to believe at all. They're always available. But yeah, they like that. Look at this.
Maybe he had some stuff in the back of his truck that wasn't toys. Maybe.
Yeah, he's a split shipment there. No, this is a
Yeah.
full
Oh,
truck
thank
of
God you have
Commando Elite.
razor blades and rockets. Just what we needed.
Yeah, he's going to Walmart, Dean.
H-E-B.
So I think this kid's mom is still drunk. She's talking crazy. The roofies are still wearing off. And then you got Phil Hartman's famous Gorgonzola line that Badfish was talking about earlier, which is a cheese, but it's pretty close. But yeah, they just open fire on him, and you have this great shot of Phil Hartman running away from a flamethrower.
Bro, they have a fucking sound system out there? What are we talking about?
Well, they stole it from him. They dragged it out.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
that's
right.
When they
Yeah,
did
he's like,
that, I
"That's
don't
my
know.
speakers."
Imagine you just see the little toys just struggling. They're like,
Yeah. Also, what is it plugged into? It's in the middle of the fucking street.
Oh
The
man, here
fucking
we
power
go.
outlets in his front yard.
If the Gwendys are operational, you know, and
They can
Okay,
get all
you
this,
know what?
but they can't get an extension
You
cord.
got me. The fucking Gwendys can be a thing. Okay.
they do say at the beginning, I think they say we're gonna put a lithium power cell in these guys, so you'll never have to replace the battery. It's
Yeah.
like, man, lithium batteries last like maybe twice as long as regular ass batteries. It's not a nuclear power cell like the Mars rover has. It's not gonna last more than a couple days if it's constantly running. But yeah, technology has progressed a lot to the point where lithium batteries are in all kinds of consumer products that they were not in 1998.
Also, are there other fucking chip hazards, or he's the only motherfucker?
You can tell there is a few others, and I think they avoided looking at them too much, but obviously he's distinguished by his burnt face, like the T800.
Okay.
He's the leader. I think they peep out the window and they note that it's the original one from their previous battle. Yeah. Phil Harbin's they start firing some flaming whatnots through the door.
Balls.
Tennis balls, yeah.
And
This is where she
Alan's
becomes
mom.
a tennis star.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah, which is not a previously established thing. Oh, maybe they did previously establish it. Was she going to tennis practice when the dad left?
Maybe. It didn't stand out. I did not catch that as being a
No, I think
callback.
she's going to work. I think she's in like a
Yeah.
That
Almost
dumb
get
kid's like,
steward-
Mom, you're always at
stewardess."
tennis practice, just to throw it out there. It's like,
right. It would have been nice to have set that up previously, but she just
Seems like-
happens to be a tennis star.
Dean's like, Joe Dante, have you heard of filmmaking? You're supposed to set this stuff up in the beginning. Anyway. They got more fireworks. They don't like real guns. They just like flamethrowers and fireworks and scissors. That's pretty much how they operate. Yeah. I guess it would be tough for them to fire a real gun. They can't even fit their plastic gun in their hand. But yeah, so it's pretty aggressive stuff. Once again, they're shooting flaming tennis balls into the house. The house is going to be burned down in no time at this rate. It's not very safe. And they're blowing up the fence and coming through. That's pretty cool. Arch is like, we should probably just give up.
this coward, of course.
Yeah, and you get some good look at some more hardware they miraculously pulled out of nowhere in 15 minutes.
Yo, that fucking nail gun is crazy.
And the EMP solution, which was previously set up according to the rules of filmmaking, is
Yeah.
rediscussed. And she's shooting more flaming tennis balls back at their artillery and blowing them up. It's a pretty good time. What do you guys think of this helicopter? That was pretty good stuff.
It is cool, but where did he get that?
Come on.
That's what I've
Where'd
been
he
saying this whole time. Where the fuck did they get all this shit?
That's a great point, Manny. I'm glad you brought that up. Where did
Dude,
they
they-
get this stuff?
Come on.
This is where it becomes
They play Wagner while he's flying up, I don't feel like it would be even too controversial for him to play Wagner while he's flying up in the current day. But anyways, Phil Hartman's just okay. Phil Hartman is in as much disbelief as Dean here. He's like, where did he have the time to make that helicopter? I don't believe what I'm seeing.
It's not like this is the next day. It's later on in the 20, 30 minutes later. He only floated down the stream, like I said, 6 blocks from the neighborhood.
And the helicopter is loaded up with Roman candles. It's just pretty great. Just shoot them at their faces. It's quadcopters weren't invented yet, so their maneuverability is very impressive.
Yeah, somehow
great-
they also got upstairs. They're being outflanked.
Yeah. They got in, they blew up the backyard fence. They probably went around there. Who knows? I think he's got a scythe.
Jesus, where did that come from?
That's a sickle.
Sure. Okay. Let me tell you about yard work.
Dean, you're a sicko.
And Sam Witwicky's dad is out here wrecking shop with a broom because, he actually understands they're just toys and you just smack them with a broom and they're basically destroyed.
Have y'all noticed that before any character does anything, there's like a quick little quip, like before, like a little one-liner that's just thrown. Like this guy says, "Put that in your pipe and smoke it" or something. It's like, oh my, the
Oh,
whole film.
yeah.
The more that I spend time with you guys, Mike was right. I hate this film. I'm
I
gonna throw
told you.
this away.
That's how I started with Triple X.
Can I have it?
dude.
Right?
I liked it way more than I thought I would after not watching it for 20 years. I thought
This guy's hiding in the
love
fucking
it.
oven.
guys, it's all about the figure industry, man. Like we talk about this stuff all the time. There's shipping cases in this
Oh,
movie.
this
It's because
guy.
of this battle we have what we have now.
Gun.
Yeah. Well, this picture just pisses me off. I'm so upset.
That's why I picked it.
Good sandals.
Dude, he's supposed to be. He's the Hunchback of Notre Dame
Yeah, well.
he's a mutant hunchback, man. They're all archetypes. The rhino, you get the bowling pin sound effect. I think I noticed a couple. I think I noticed 2 Wilhelm screams in this movie, which usually
Oh,
only
yeah.
get 1. But it's highly appropriate for destroying toy soldiers, I guess. And there's the tornado purple dude,
Insaniac.
of course, taking out some guys there. And they have a little heart to heart. He's like, "Dad, I have to climb the telephone pole and almost
Bro.
electrocute myself."
This
I-
fucking scene is so fucking. I have to go. Don't do it. It's too dangerous. Dad, you have to trust me. Okay. It's like so fucking cliche. I was like, oh my God. Like, you
tale as
couldn't
old
have
as time.
tried to write a better scene. Like, son, I know
Okay.
that we haven't seen eye to eye, and you're kind of a fuck up, but I love you, and I want
And you
you to
should go
do
up
better.
there and explode with the.
Yeah, and I'm
Speaking
not
of-
going to
okay.
let you get electrocuted.
Okay, here's the thing. Of all the things that I've pointed out a few things that would not be allowed in a current film, and this might be the biggest one. They would never show a kid climbing up one of these and connecting like
Listen,
with 2
as somebody
transformers with a
who
wrench.
works in the electric utility industry, this kid dies 20 times during this scene.
He just gets all
They were-
stiff.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think that you could do this.
You mean the rubber
he's
gloves don't work?
done.
1 millimeter kitchen rubber gloves aren't going to
Yeah,
save him.
he's got some dish gloves on.
Yeah,
The
but I
dad's
think
like,
they
No, go
they would
ahead. Go
just
ahead.
not allow this. They would just not allow this scene because they would be worried about one kid ending up in the news who just did what he saw in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, and it would probably have happened too.
That's funny.
We should check some old 1998 papers. but
Also,
it's-
I love that
mean,
they had to put the signs on here in case anybody wasn't aware. It's
High
high
voltage.
voltage. Like, there's,
Yeah, I
it's so
I also like
stupid.
voltage is. It's like, well, his arm is going to be blocking the word voltage if we
Yeah.
put it where high is. So let's move it over to the right. So it's very clearly in screen.
Dude, before he
oh,
goes up there, the dad's like, "Son, if you die, I will get you the best wooden coffin."
Oh man. But Mike, so
shit.
can you fact check this? Like, is this
That
is
was
it,
really
is
good.
does the strategy hold water in terms of causing an electromagnetic pulse?
No. No, the only thing they got right is it's going to blow up.
The dad's just looking up, and all you hear is the sun gets stiff.
It doesn't kill
This
any
is
of the
fucking
toys.
Vaporized.
Oh god. All right. Well, Chip Hazard flies up to him, stabs him or some such, shoots more rockets at him. I think this is one of the times where he gets shooting. First of all, he's shooting. Yeah, just one of the other times you were saying he probably should have died when Chip Hazard's shooting Roman candles at the Transformers. And then he gets on there and he literally stabs him in the hand. I think it's the 3rd time he gets stabbed in this movie. And you see blood on the glove after he gets stabbed in the hand. And then Archer
This
apparently has like a
guy.
30-foot grappling hook. He climbs up there.
He did.
And I
absolutely
didn't understand.
nothing
Doesn't he
here.
say something like I've learned or something like that? Like I thought he was gonna go up there and do something, but all he does is go up there and get his ass kicked.
Yeah, he still doesn't know how to fight.
It was
but
the
he,
attempt that counts.
yeah, he distracted him a little bit.
He literally did nothing. Him staying on the ground would have been better.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess the way it ends up, because the wrench is not the tool that ends up connecting the two transformers there.
Yeah.
As Archer gets thrown off to his death, and look at that death scream on our. It looks like he's properly dead there. Fell too far.
Yeah, again, what killed him?
The fall.
This picture
It knocked
comforts
his
me.
battery out.
It's like they don't have organs. They're not getting traumatic hemorrhaging. He's fine. He's a toy.
Well,
Buy this for a
He's
second.
like, dramatic effect.
yeah. And then suddenly Alan realizes that Chip Hazard is also just a toy, so he picks him up.
What does he say here? It's so fucking stupid.
I don't.
Something
I
about a
don't
stupid
either.
toy or something like.
I have
Are
to
you
Google
shocked? I don't, it's
And
some-
then I
some
don't-
stupid one-liner.
It's not the fall that kills you; it's the sudden stop. Good call, Rob.
it. Yeah, if you have organs, not if you're a toy.
Now that's not true. We've all dropped our toys and they suddenly don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Look at Dean thinking it over.
is that?
I don't
but
think
now-
I've ever.
Would this work? Like, is he too much plastic to actually connect these two things, Mike?
I mean,
What's going
it
on
doesn't. It doesn't take much, but again, the kid would be dead. I mean, by the time he makes contact in here holding that thing, he's dead.
Yeah, and then falls fucking 30,
Yeah.
40 feet. They got a tree branch, breaks his landing. Not a spine, though.
It's like, I'm good, actually.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so this kid could fall.
Archer's dead.
We're
but
supposed to
he's
think
alive.
Archer died from the
Well, he
exact
didn't-
same fall.
We're supposed to think it, but he didn't. But here's what I didn't understand. So, like, these guys are all out here, and the thing blew up, I think. But Kirsten Dunst has time to like lawn mow a bunch of these guys before the shockwave like passes by, or maybe it hasn't quite happened yet. Or it
Okay,
hasn't
ro-
quite happened yet.
Real fast. This part pissed me off because she could have done this an hour ago and avoided all of this.
Yeah, where's
would've
she
went
been,
in-
right?
Yeah.
But it's fun to see Commando Elites get run over by a lawnmower because it's a lot of expensive craftsmanship being utterly wasted. You know, it's just hate to see it. Chip Hazard's being electrocuted. This, you know, the transformer blows up. The shockwave fries all these dudes. There's a nice graphic shot of Chip Hazard's face, eyeball coming out.
Jesus.
And yeah, the next day they're picking up the burnt garbage. I know. I mean, first of all, they wouldn't all be burned, of course. They would just stop working from the EMP, but that's not as cinematic. But we're not here for a science class, as you guys have pointed out. So yeah, the cleanup process happens, and they have Kegels. Thank God she came back.
Literally just printing checks on the scene to
Yeah.
pay these
Yeah.
people off.
Yeah, he lands the chopper, which is probably going to cause even more attention, which you probably shouldn't do right in the middle of the street there.
Which, and listen, if we're talking about stupid scenes that piss people off, that scene pissed me off because they tried to build some suspense, like who's in the chopper. It's like, we know who's in the fucking chopper. We've already seen him in the movie. They were doing
Yeah,
like
then
the
it says to
close-up shot
move
of his
that-
foot as he steps out. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's like, move your truck or whatever, but it's like the helicopter is still in the road. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I mean, you know, when I see that, I just think of all the times I landed a helicopter in the middle of a residential street in GTA 5, but it seems like very unruly behavior. But yeah, he's cutting checks to everybody so they don't talk about it. Look at that. Alan's house, the whole roof is caved in on the front
Jesus.
deck there.
I've always wondered how
Well,
much
it's
the
on
checks
fire.
were for. Like, it was fun. It was late 90s. How much were those checks?
Yeah, they wisely didn't show you so that the movie would have a little more lasting power. I mean, the
Yeah.
the price point of the figures is pretty good. $79.99 sounds about right. You know, much higher than that, and they wouldn't be in
That's
a
how
toy
much
store.
a fucking Marvel Legend is now.
Exactly.
Maximum series.
Yeah, Zach bought 2.
Cocksuckers.
Hate to see it, but yeah. So all
He'll
the
cancel one
Gorgonites were
before it comes out.
the Gorgonites were saved by the satellite dish, and nature has
These
been returned to
cowards,
status
bunch
quo.
of cowards. Look at that dude's toe. Look at that, the one with the chanclas. Look at his big old toe. It pisses me off so much.
You just don't like his toe, all right?
I got
But,
my Gorgonite toe.
Yeah, but you know, Alan finally gets rid of that wooden boat, and he
That's
releases
right,
the
the boat
Gorgonites.
Yeah, did
He's
you ask
really
your
coulda
dad
just-
for this boat?
He could have just been, yeah. He's like, I need to get the boat back, so just leave it wherever. But he could have just been like, look, guys, you guys are toys. Y'all can stay here. Y'all are chill. You just
Yeah.
go up on the collection.
Nope, but instead he sends them off to almost certain death.
Look out for bears.
Yeah, and I guess Alan's dad knew about it because he's probably at the trailer up there or the RV in the
His
background.
dad's
there.
rich now, so I guess he doesn't care.
Yeah, they're camping, and he's like, "Oh, those idiots! They're gonna be dead by next week, but that's fine." And you know they're off in some I don't know what national parks that is, but the one he was looking up on Encarta was in California, and that does look like a mountain, so it's plausible.
That looks like Gorgon to me. Is that the name?
And then you know what? I left this on. I left the credits on, and I was surprised that a Phil Hartman deleted scene showed up during the credits. And then this For Phil came up. So he obviously died before the movie came out and after it was filmed.
Oh,
so, like,
shit.
Yeah, so he had like they put one of his outtakes in at the end, and then this little card came up. But yeah, guys, so y'all don't like the movie anymore. That's what I'm getting.
I
Oh,
really
no,
don't.
I still love it.
The
I still love
nostalgia is dead. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's
No,
crazy.
it's still it's a fun movie. I haven't seen it since I was, 10, 11. It came out in 99, so
Yeah.
maybe like a year after it came out for it to be on VHS. 36 or 30, yeah, 36.
Dang.
So it's been a long time since I've watched this movie, and I was watching it, and it's fun to really sit down and pick things apart and shit on them. But as a movie, it's a fun movie. It's great. Like, it's not overly complicated. They don't fill it with a bunch of bullshit, science talk. It's just like, oh, I made this chip for missiles and it was too dangerous, so they.
Scenes could even be like super choppy, like they don't really connect. Just go to the next scene, kind of thing.
Yeah, and so like, the good actors, good action. Again, the CGI when it was used was really good. The practical effects are amazing. It's a fun movie. That's what I was saying. Like 45%, like IMDb rating or whatever.
That's
it was.
criminal.
That seems
Yeah.
really low. I would say at minimum like a 75. Like,
What
it's
was
a fun, easy movie.
what was the big movie that year?
Armageddon.
So there you
I
go.
don't know. I don't know. Nothing that good. Yeah, you got a bunch of classic Lost in Space, dumb stuff. I don't know, man. But yeah, yeah, Mike's looking it up. But we got a couple other segments here, and we're running long, so we're gonna keep it moving here. But
The Phantom
Uh,
Menace came out in 1999.
not yeah, this is
No,
98.
this was
though.
98.
Oh,
But and it's year after Titanic, so it's just an off year, 98. You got the first Blade movie is in there, but
Saving
yeah.
Private Ryan.
Impact,
2 different asteroid movies you got, yeah.
Half
But,
Baked.
But we're gonna talk a little bit about the behind the scenes and big
Blade?
surprise. Guess who, motherfuckers? The same guy we talk about every episode of this show, pretty much was
Yes,
was,
motherfuckers.
was
Sam
behind.
Winston.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Stan Winston with the entire puppet cast.
Dark
And,
City.
Yeah, this
Godzilla.
is Godzilla 98. Yeah, this is better than
Man
all
in the
those
Iron
things.
Mask.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, it's a bit of an off year. Like there's
Water Boy. Ants. Saving Private Ryan. Lost in Space.
Yeah, no, I
That's
got
not a
most of
bad
those.
year.
Okay.
That's an
Oh,
amazing.
Okay.
year.
Bugs Life, bro.
Yo, two ant movies and 2 asteroid movies. But anyways, okay, Saving Private Ryan is the only one of those that's like pretty much rock solid. But anyways,
Half Baked.
The Big Lebowski?
These movies aren't competing with each other. This is a children's film, okay? Saving Private Ryan and
But
Half
other
Baked can
people are
exist.
going to the movies to see those things. They're not going to see this, which is why it did so good on VHS.
All right. Well, you
Kite?
got
That anime is crazy.
we got a couple looks at Stan
We're never
Winston's
going to let Chris finish this.
workshop here. No, you guys are
He's
gonna
just
like
talking.
some of this
He's
stuff.
just like, I'm going to show y'all either way. So just
Listen, a bunch of unrelated films came out in 1998. It's true, guys. Absolutely true. You got some concept sketches of
Jeez.
look at that. It's an early name, Chip Braddock. Chip Hazard wasn't even his name in that sketch there. That's interesting. And then here you got a guy. Look at the
Bro, those
detail on that
sketches are
thing.
Crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is Christopher Swift, who was I think he was one of the sculptors on here. So you know what's, hey, Mr. Musashi, you know what's cool about this is that since they did a very comprehensive toy line, you have toy characters that are essentially designed by Stan Winston's studio, which is kind of cool if you think about it. Like sort of the way the toy line was like pretty robust, and they're based on these creature designs. It's pretty
Well,
cool.
and these props are highly sought after as well.
I'm not
yeah.
surprised.
They are extremely hard to find.
I bet you can find one of these on eBay. I'm sure.
They still have
Someone
overstock of
right
that.
I'm sure that you can, like, you know, if Xander Cage's jacket is only $1,500, like, I'm sure you can get one of these. but yeah, look at these guys just having a great time. You know, dang old don't make them like they used to. Tell you what. But all these pictures are from Stan Winston Studios website, and they had a lot of cool behind the scenes shots here, where they're just assembling these armatures. They do a little bit of these are probably the smallest use of this sort of creature effects, where they have, you can see a shot here, they actually have some cables running to one of the Archer models here, and they're like, it's part puppetry, part electronic movement there. But I guess if it's a static shot, they could like paint out the cables digitally. It's pretty early to do that sort of stuff convincingly. I was kind of surprised to see they had this much stuff hanging off the character in a shot that they used, but the angle, you might not see that much of it. Depends what the angle is there. And we got yeah, I don't know if this is just some lighting tests, or like this is not actually a scene, I don't think, because I don't know what that stuff on the ground is there. But yeah,
That
Stan
wasn't
Winston.
that first scene where they go head to head in the toy store.
Yeah, I'd have to check a screen match it. I don't know what's going on in the ground in front of them there, but this, I feel like they're just testing stuff, because Archer's bow is not painted there.
That's true.
But yeah, man, StanWinstonStudios.com has some crazy stuff for all kinds of movies, many of which we've talked about on this show. And I think it was Dean sent this along to me late last year. This video came up called Small Soldiers, The War for Necron. And from what I can research, this is like not officially licensed per se, but I think, like, you know, some guys made like a sizzle video of like, it's kind of like, you know, that's kind of how the Deadpool movie started, really. Yeah. Like an unlicensed pitch video was made to sort of get the ball rolling and see if they could get some financing interest. And it's like a trailer for what could be a video game or a new movie, with showing a whole new cast of characters and some space-aged Gorgonites that look a little bit cooler and more like StarCraft aliens than the Gorgonites from this movie.
Yeah, this little short, you can find it on YouTube. Bro, I want every single one of these fucking things. There's not only the soldiers, there's like a cool like samurai guy. I think there's like a cool cowboy. This girl character reminds me of what's her name from Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh, the little poppy girl or whatever.
Wreck-It Ralph has too many logical inconsistencies for me to enjoy it.
Oh, okay. No, she's like a badass commando chick, but she reminds me
I know who you're talking about.
Of her from Wreck-It Ralph. But I'm like, damn, I want this figure bad. Like, it's just a really cool design. But
yeah,
I think they're still working on this. Like, they're trying to get it licensed, and I think it's DreamWorks is the holdup. And I was reading a thing where if they could get like full permissions from DreamWorks, it will be like a sequel. But if they can't, then it's just going to be like a soft reboot or something.
Oh, so like you mean they might not call it Small Soldiers if they can't get that licensing? Because I feel like there's nothing legally stopping them from making a very similar plot film with different characters. Like as long as they don't
Right.
actually have Commando Elites and Gorgonites, they could probably have a legal standing where they could just make this movie. But
Yeah.
that'd be weird. That'd be a shame. That like what are you doing with that IP, DreamWorks? Like, come on, how much are you gonna really charge these guys to do it? They're probably asking way too much. It hasn't been touched in 25 years as a property. Yeah, we're gonna skip this final verdict thing because obviously it's 5 out of 5. Man of culture. It's not even debatable. And here's the part you've all been waiting for, boys. So the first collectible we're gonna get out of the way because it's not that interesting or important is a video game that was not very well critically received. Sean, did you have this? You ever play this?
Not this one. I played the PlayStation version.
Okay, but is it the same game but just like ported to PlayStation?
No,
or-
because this looks like this is like in the house and stuff. Like the PlayStation game, you're actually like going through like castles and it's like like a cyberish kind of like world almost.
Okay.
It's been a while, but like Chip Hazard had like this robotic like henchman dog like robot thing where he would sit on like almost like a AT-AT, right? And he would like shoot his little laser beams at you and stuff like that.
Yeah, look
I-
how
I-
menacing Archer looks on this box. That's the most menacing he's ever looked. He's firing something out of his chest or something. He's growling. That's pretty good.
It was
Is
just
this
a
like
crossbow.
German or something? Die Ultimativen action figure.
Oh, yeah, that box might be, but it says Hasbro Interactive on there. But
I
yeah,
was
this
like, what the fuck am I reading?
when I
Like,
saw
read
that was
like
just the
4 times.
look how it says Globotech Design Lab. Imagine no kids were remembering what the company's name was from the movie. Yeah, that's pretty good. But when I saw the screenshot, it made me want to play Army Men for N64. You know, like running around
that
the
was
small.
Such a fun game.
Yeah, that was actually good. But yeah, so well, forget this game. Sean, what's the deal with these Kenner Hasbro toys? I was surprised to learn that there's a budget edition and an electronic version of the 12-inch
Yeah,
and
so
Archer.
like the budget edition had like the soft goods, I think. Like you see the Chip Hazard on the left
Weird.
right here. You kind of see where he has the soft goods, where the electronic one was like full plastic painted on and stuff like that. And these were those guys that they originally came out with like for the show. I don't remember seeing the other two, the ones on the left, but they try to package it pretty closely to like the movies, which is something you don't typically get. Like, because I always saw it and I was like, oh, I want the packaging from the movie and all that kind of stuff, and it's always a little bit different. But like you saw Manny's Chip Hazard.
Yeah.
There's
So
the Archer with the arm action.
yeah, these are just the 12. That's cool. These are just the 12-inch ones, but like I impulse bought the basic Archer. There's a store 5 minutes from my house that had one, so I was like, yeah, I'll have that for $40.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
not bad.
How tall is that one?
This is a 12-inch one,
Okay.
So
but
like,
this is
what,
the
18?
non-electronic 12-inch. But yeah, here's the ones Sean's talking about. These are like this. They're more like 6-inch
Yeah.
figures, like He-Man size.
Flat Chew. I have Flat Chew. He's right here.
Yeah, and these ones they sort of
there.
emulated the packaging shape from the movie, but for these smaller ones. Yeah, and wasn't Flat Shoe like the one from the
The one
beginning
that
of the
didn't
movie?
make it out.
I thought it's the one where like it was like a previous toy line the guy already did, and that's why they bought the company.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, the guy had already designed this red dude, and he shows it to the CEO at the beginning. So I guess they just used
Right.
that design.
Yeah.
And then
And you saw in one of your studio photos that you had, he was sitting back there in the back. He was like this huge menacing figure.
yeah, these go for real good money in nice condition carded ones. Like I was looking at some of the 12-inch were like $800, like for a nice sealed one. I was like kind of blown away by that. But this, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind a carded chip and Archer from this set if in good shape. But I've seen them for around $200 if the cards are good.
There's your
Yeah, we're holding up some there.
Red Gogan, bro.
Stupid Chan class. Oh God.
Yeah, that Rhino guy's Clinton Martin says he has most of these. I feel like the Rhino guy was like a cooler design. He didn't have that dopey face, you know. He just kind of looks like a Halo monster or something. Yeah. I feel like this guy's the standout Gorgonite design, if you ask me. He's kind of menacing looking. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So he has another little figure that came with him, Scratch It, and he's a little guy that sits like right here. You would see him in the movie where he would like pull back the slingshot and he'd like fly off somewhere.
So you're saying yours is incomplete? That's a real shame.
Mine is incomplete.
And then I think we mentioned earlier there's a Burger King line of toys too, and here's some of that. The Quasimodo is a plush apparently because he'd been too expensive to make proportional to the other guys. And look at that, Mike. It's like one of them is like a wind up, like crawling army guy, like like we were geeking out over it. So was it
Right.
Demolition Man had one of those guys?
Yeah,
in there. That's cool.
crazy.
No, he doesn't get to have a rifle though because it's a Burger King toy. You can't be having rifles in your Burger King toys. But I'm sure those are more desirable than some fast food.
But
premiums.
Archer has a fucking crossbow on his arm.
The crossbow is not a real firearm. It's socially acceptable. Even
Have you ever seen people hunt with fucking crossbows? They're fucking insane.
oh yeah. Well,
if you watch the movie first, you know that he'll never use it, so it's fine.
there you go. And
You're not wrong.
And the crossbows are very disappointing. So I mentioned earlier, and it sounds like Manny already knows about these, but there is an unlicensed high budget version of these, and it's from a company called Epica Replicas. Now, these are pretty good. They pretty much look like what the movie props look like. And here's the insane part. They did every character, all of the soldiers and all the Gorgonites. But the thing is, they're about $1,000 a piece. But you can still get them, and somehow these guys haven't been shut down, and I'm pretty sure they don't have a license.
Do they have a
pretty
battle
crazy.
damage chip hazard?
I think they do, and they also all come with like very movie accurate boxes.
We'll see, and even like with the Kenner ones, like this Archer has the little like cloth piece in the front, and the Kenner ones never had that.
12-inch does. The
The 12-inch one does.
yeah.
Not the...
I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but if you guys watch Cosplay Chris, he has a video on one that's like unpainted, which looks pretty cool too. It might be the same thing.
Oh yeah, you know what? There's probably 3D print files going around that are very good because like
Mike.
these are expensive.
Sorry, I have a cold.
We could talk.
Yeah,
There's
but
a price
you know,
for everything.
Well,
but yeah, but like I just can't believe that these guys made every character, and it's not addition to the point where like they dropped it and they made like 10 of each. Like I looked at their site and you can still order all of them, I think, and they've been out for a year, which is pretty crazy.
wow.
Yeah, I don't like this movie enough to spend that kind of money on even one of them.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I'd complete the set, man. If I could get my hands on an
Dude.
Ocula.
Yeah, a
God.
full-sized Oculus. No, if that Archer was $300, I'd buy it right now. 1,000, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
it's
I
too-
think that'd
it's
be
too
pretty
much.
reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Hot Toys prices, I would get it. But it looks really good. It's just funny that like the chip hazard. Imagine paying $1,000 for something that has like a leg joints like that, because it's supposed to look like a $60 toy, but it's also like high budget paint job and sculpting and all that. So it's a weird little dichotomy there. But yeah, man, that's the last collectible I fired up. So you're not gonna, no one's going in on these $1,000. I think maybe they're $800 if you don't get the box, something like that.
Well, that's actually what I want to show you guys right now. I just kidding.
He's got them already. Yeah, well, so 2.5 hours almost. That's pretty much it for Small Soldiers. That was a fun time. I hope you guys appreciate the.
Sorry.
That's good. It was another laborious time throwing up thumb screenshots while I listened to CW Plus, but you guys are killing it with that. I really enjoyed those first couple episodes, and I think it's good to give the Patreonies some actual video content that they can't see on the main channel. I think that's a great idea. But yeah, speaking of the Patreonies, here they are: Captain Fordo, Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, David Jones, Sam Gist, Schwab Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Schweitzer, Six Guns Figs, Badfish, Joe Corpus, Luke Skywalker, Dan Lead, Deanie Martin, Big Fern, Caesar American, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Alad Morgan, Tukathri, Wah, Derek B, Aries Portillo, Alvin J, Mario Delgado, Aurelius Delgado, Toy Cartel, Sith Scale Collector, Jared Gagne, Alberto Cortez, Big Rib, Trevor Weed, Darren Elderton, Matt Clevenger, Domata, Stephen Percha, Sean Yotzi, Scott Bradley, Stephen Maria Stanley, Eddie Montanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Exodus, Abe Dunk TV, and Gigi the Judgmental. Thanks so much for your support, guys. And I don't know if this slide was updated, Dean, but does any level of Patreon get access to CW Plus? I guess so if you're in the Patreon chat, right?
Yeah. Starts with the $5 tier.
Right. So yeah, you got a whole new show. I don't know how often you guys are going to do that. Is it theoretically after every main show at this point?
Yeah.
Cool. So
yeah,
if you're
usually,
Patreon,
the show ends and then we usually just hang out for, sometimes we hang out for like 3 hours backstage, and so it could be 30 minutes, like, hey, I haven't eaten today, I gotta go, or just a little extra. It's actually crazy that that's like actually his voice.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought the Archer.
Go on.
I thought the Archer sounded wrong. When I heard a clip of the Archer toy, it didn't sound like the real voice to me.
He sounds like a coward to me.
It's not him.
Yeah, because like usually
Mike,
toys, like the Kylo Rens, it was like, just take the fucking sound clips from the movie. Why are you have some random dude being Kylo Ren, or like
Too expensive. Yeah.
I guess it's like you fucking own the character.
Well, it's funny,
Well,
but it is down to literally the cost. It's like when they made the Clone Wars cartoon, the only Hayden Christensen wanted to voice Anakin, but they found a cheaper dude. Lucas was thrifty, man. But yeah, this is if basically you have a new show every week than you had before if you're a Patreon, which is a crazy amount more content, and you also have access to the replays of After Dark. So it's never been a better time to be a Patreon. You get a lot of extra content, and if you're at least the Sweet Angel tier, you get stickers sent to you every other month. And the January, February Patreon benefits are the Job's Not Finished sticker and the horribly graphic that I find hard to look at I'm a Nut sticker. What do you guys have to say for yourselves?
I'm proud of that one. I drew it, and Manny did the lettering.
Wow. So you guys are both directly responsible. That's great. Okay. YouTube channel members. We got an Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Amanda Dobbs, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, CT603, DJ Daminator, Doc Smizzle, Equan, Fat Batman, Gare Bear, Good Old Spotchka, Gotham Cenobites, Justin Sports Cards, Jared Gagne, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Mike Litteris, Monty Mendez, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 1/6 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Sam Gist, Scarnlord, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Russ, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Mafia, Exodus, and Trevor Weed. Thanks so much for being channel members, guys. And just a quick look at the other shows on the network. theoretically, there will be an OFAC near the end of the month sometime, and that'll be taking. So next Thursday you'll have small talk, and then after that OFAC, theoretically, if all goes to plan. And then you have the main show live every Tuesday night, followed by CW Plus if you're a Patreon, and After Dark live every Wednesday night, and just another Friday night every Friday night talking about the latest entertainment, movie, and TV show reviews and whatnot. So check it out, guys. Before we wrap up, anybody got any shout outs or anything they want to say?
Just shout out to all the pairs. That's it for me.
All right. Well, you've been a valuable addition, Manny, because you both love and dislike this movie, and that's what it's all about. You know, that Sean, I think you still just love it, so you're a little bit. I think you're a bit
just
less
love it.
torn. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you
can
for
talk
having
shit
me.
about it as much as you want. I still love it.
I think it's just funny because it's all about, it's all about figure collecting. It's a little more relevant to 12th scale type stuff than 1/6, but there's a lot of inside baseball in this movie, and I find that amusing. And just aesthetically, there's a lot to like. But I think if I hated it more, I would have probably said funnier things today. But you can't win them all. But yeah, thanks for joining, Sean, Manny, Dean. Appreciate you. You're powered through, even though you guys have had some long days, and that's 2.5 hours. So we're gonna call it quits. I don't know what our next episode is gonna be. You're not gonna find out until the day before, probably. So enjoy the rest of February, guys, and be sure to check out that new episode of OFAC later this month. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.